And I think we're live, Ripa. I think we're live.
Good.
We'll see
Good.
what happens. No intro tonight. Just a cold opening. A couple of guys that are just learning YouTube, trying to figure this whole thing out. We don't know. There we go. Yes, we are live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday night's main event with just me and Ripa. That's it. We might have some more people jump in here, but hey, you know what? When I made a post, because I was still planning, like I said on Daily today, I said I don't know what's happening with Tuesday night's main event tonight, but I was like, figure something out. I know a lot of people's out of town, and so I was like, well, let me just. I was still planning on maybe going live, kind of how I did on Christmas Day for Daily, just kind of a brief kind of, hey everybody, hope you had a good Thanksgiving or a good Christmas and all that, and when I posted in the group chat, I'm like, all right, everybody, no main event. And Ripa comes in there and says, gay. And I'm like, well, shit, if he's available, let me call him and see if me and him could just do it instead of me just going live for a little while.
Yeah.
And so here we are. So
I had made my run, so I was like, yeah, I was around. So yeah, that did happen. That did happen.
I was like,
good.
all right, cool. Well,
Yeah.
then we at least got me and him so we can wing it. So how the hell are you, Ripa?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. It's been I had a great Christmas. That was my kind of wind down. I worked a little bit in the morning. Wind down was with the family, chill with the lady, was just chilling out. And then I got back to work today. So I'm feeling good. Alpha Core's doing good. Hit over 12,000 total purchasers today. So
hell yeah.
Closing in on 1.2 million, man. So that's always good. And yeah, man, we just grinding, man. We've been working nonstop, man. So such is life.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I had a up and down Christmas. Now, obviously, like I said, I've been out of town last week, so I'd celebrate it. We kind of did an early one. Me and my family went out of town, and so yesterday I wake up and my new channel, Cobra 199, I wake up and it's monetized. I got approved for, the YouTube partner program and everything. And I was really excited about that because I've been streaming on that channel for the past week. We did 4 streams and we got, the watch hours and everything. And I was really excited about that. I hadn't promoted the channel too much, just a little bit here and there, but 4 streams and we had already got the watch hours and everything. And so I wake up yesterday morning and it's like, you're approved for partner program. I'm like, oh man, it's a Christmas Day present. It's a Christmas miracle. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll go live on that channel later today, and we'll do a monetization celebration stream. Got my membership set up and everything like that. So we go live. We're having a great stream, and people start gifting memberships. But we had this same problem on Geeks and Gamers Life, where as soon as the memberships get approved, for some reason there's like a glitch in the memberships. People can't accept them. So there was like 20 and 10 and 5 gifted memberships, but no one was able to accept them. So I'm like, damn it, this is a glitch that I dealt with in the past. I was like, it usually takes, a day or two to work itself out. Maybe if I stop the stream and restart the stream, maybe that'll fix it. So I tell people, I'm like, go on YouTube, screenshot the memberships are being gifted, and then screenshot it, tag team YouTube, and just ask them if there's a glitch. Then I stopped the stream and then started another one just to kind of see if that would fix it. YouTube demonetizes the whole damn channel for reused content. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, man. That's all fucking bot, man.
Yes,
like that's
yes.
all algorithm. That's fucking wild though. Like that's demonetizing the whole channel, man. That's nuts. But that's got to be, a lot of holes, and I know definitely Google, a lot of their investment has been in like some of the AI shit and like,
yep,
trying to have it be automated. Everything's automated and shit. And I just fuck, dude, demonetize the whole channel. Have you tried maybe reaching out to the creator side or like the Geeks and Gamers? I don't know how that would work though.
I never accepted one of those partner managers. I never accepted it. Gary's been telling me to do that forever.
Yeah,
my mentality is the less they know about me, the better. I don't want them to know me, but
it's helpful just for the contact, just for to be able to be like, hey, something's up with my page. What the hell is up? That's really the only use that they have. That's it.
I did submit an appeal. I made a video explaining it, and submit the appeal. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about that new channel, and it's going to be really focused on just video games and professional wrestling discussion, and that's it.
Sick,
And I'm happy about that, because obviously D-Day Cobra has shifted more to a full-on political channel for the most part, and it's not going to change over the course of 2024.
Oh man, we got an election coming up, baby.
Yeah, so it ain't going to change. So I finally just embraced that, and then I don't really want to get into politics on the other channel, so it is what it is. But
that's kind of what I need to pick it back up on. Young River 5-9's like the entertainment shit. Yeah, like it's been a while since I've been like a year since I uploaded there. But for the same reason, to kind of keep everything separate. But I want to start getting into like other shit too, like fitness and all that gun shit. I want to do all that shit, like but just that's not specifically like in the realm of like the political stuff. But
yeah,
you know, you never know. You always got to have a fresh algorithm. He's out. I mean, we talked about this with Melly Mac. You know, like you getting that funky part of that algorithm. It don't matter how many subs you got, man. It's just
well,
it's like funky, man.
Your main channel and this channel have a lot in common from the perspective of you've intertwined a lot of shit into your channel, whether it be entertainment, whether it be comic books, video games, politics, you know, all this, and a lot of that don't fully mix.
Don't mix up,
And like with G&G, with Geeks and Gamers, like I've put different people on this channel. We talk about different stuff, and that ultimately, like if YouTube does not, you do not benefit from diversity of content.
Yeah, variety doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It's why I have 9 fucking or 10 channels. You know what I mean? Like you're always chasing that. And so like Melanie Max got her huge channel that she had for all those years.
And
but her new channel gets more traction. Her new channel, it's crazy.
It's fucking nuts. Yeah, and for people that are watching, that's the reason why people create all these different channels. Is just because, unfortunately, and it used to not be like this. But unfortunately, it is one of those kind of situations where the variety almost hurts you, right? It almost like hurts you to do variety, because they focus so much on this. Hey, we want to put your content in front of the right people. Shit is, you know, that YouTube is, that's how their kind of algorithm is all gained. So they're trying so hard to define your channel and only put it in like certain people's, instead of, I would much rather just like send my shit. If I could send my shit to just my subscribers, I'll be happy, instead of you trying to do all this cute shit. But yeah, that's the reason why people mix these channels up, because variety is it doesn't hurt. It actually, you can make the argument that it's sad that it's like that, but you can make the argument that it actually hurts your channel these days. And who knows, 2 years from now they'll switch the algorithm up, and then variety channels will be like the fucking only ones that gain traction. It's just so stupid.
It really is, man. It's frustrating, but it's part of the game. You got to play it. So that's why, like, trust me, I want nothing more than, I hate that I have so many channels that I'm having to redirect people to, and we have all this stuff going on, but that's part of it, unfortunately. And you know, you're kind of just beholden to that to an extent. Doug B over on Rumble just dropped a proper 199 super chat and says, God bless Geeks and Gamers and the Rippaverse. I don't know where we would be without you two powerhouses. Can't wait to meet both of you. Hey, bro. Orlando MegaCon. Yeah.
Well, 2 months, a little bit.
Hell yeah, man. So, Doug, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for supporting. Doug is a massive, massive supporter, and that is super, super cool. So thank you, brother. And I'm looking forward to it. And that's and to that point, like, a lot of people ask me when I created the Cobra 199 channel, like, are you going to do that on Rumble and Kick? No, because those channels, like, that, they don't. It's not like that on these other platforms. So like everything's going to run through my D-Day Cobra channel on those other platforms. But it's not, I'm not going to.
It's a YouTube thing. It's a YouTube thing, and how their algorithm is set up. And like I said, being on this platform for as long as I've been on it used to not be like that. But they've switched it, and like I said, what sucks is, who knows, some new guys come in, new research, and then the shit switch again on you. And nothing works. Nothing worked that worked before, and it's a game. That's what we're all every creator on this channel is playing that game.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's wild, man. It's all relative, man. That's why, like, you can't get caught up in it. You can't go comparing yourself to, like, you could compare yourself to other channels and other views and stuff like that in terms of like something to strive for, but don't get beat up if, like,
Not at all.
you're not getting this the other because it applies to everybody. PewDiePie has 111 million subscribers. He's by far, like, he's the most famous individual creator. You could put Mr. Beast there too, but, like, I'll just argue, like, Mr. Beast he works the system brilliantly. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But everything about Mr. Beast content is designed to get the maximum amount of views possible. And he has worked the system and he has mastered the algorithm, to his credit. PewDiePie just did it by being a dude playing video games.
Just a guy just doing shit, doing whatever he wanted, weird videos and shit. That was it.
And PewDiePie has 111 million subscribers, and he never gets more than maybe 4 or 5 million views per video. Now, any of us would kill for 4 or 5 million views. You know what I mean? So
choke slam a baby for fucking that.
But look at the percentage of people that subscribed versus what are watching his videos is what's crazy. You know what I mean? That's insane. And then there's people that's smaller than him that get more views, like that. It's per video. It's wild. So none of it makes sense.
Algorithm, man, and that's why you got to be any creator definitely hopping in and that's new. You have to be aware of that. Like, do not get bent out of shape trying to compare views to views, because it's not a direct transfer. There's a lot has to go right. You'll notice that some channels benefit and like the streaming stuff, right? It works really well for their channel. They get a lot of people that come to it, and then you'll get guys that have massive ass subscribe account, and then their streams are like they don't get that many people to be in the stream, right? It's just not. It's different. Everything fluctuates and everything's different from channel to channel. So you got to kind of keep that into consideration, because you'll drive yourself crazy, man, trying to compare yourself to what everybody else is doing. You kind of got to figure out what works and just go from there.
Yeah. Now, Elson Barrett said, Mr. Beast doesn't play the algorithm. YouTube pushes him no matter what he does. Well, I will agree that YouTube pushes him now, but the reason he got to the place where he's at is because he worked the algorithm. Like, everything about Mr. Beast content I don't watch his videos. I watch videos on how he became who he is, though, to understand it. And everything, this dude took like a year or two straight up, him and 2 other dudes, and they just studied every single detail of the algorithm, click-through rate, thumbnails, what worked, what didn't work. He studied every single bit of it. And so he did elevate himself, because let's just be real, like, Mr. Beast is not an entertaining personality as just Jimmy. He just ain't. He's just not. Like, PewDiePie has natural charisma. Mr. Beast does not have natural charisma, but he has mastered the art of the algorithm. And now he's at a point where YouTube will push anything that he puts out there because it's kid friendly. He's their poster boy, all of that. And I ain't hating, whatever, man, all good for him. But, it is what it is. Yeah. He talked about on Joe Rogan. That's right. He did. He talked about how much of a deep dive he did into the system. Real quick, Rip, and we're going to change subjects real quick. We're going to discuss a couple things. We're not going to go like 3 hours tonight. We're going to go as long as you guys want us here for sure. But did you see this Delta video?
Yes, I did. I saw it. It's fucking wild.
Bro, yeah. This is how this dude, this Delta employee, Rippa, if he gets fired, you got to hire him, man. Because this dude, this is how you handle. This is how you handle it right here. Check this out right here. So this is right here. Entitled LGBTQ pronoun warrior meets a Delta employee that ain't fucking having it. Based as fuck. All right, listen to this right here. This is fantastic. Okay, here we go.
And what about when a Delta employee misgenders you intentionally?
While he's talking, you're talking.
You just misgendered me again.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Gotcha.
Both of you have.
Sorry. Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, that's also.
Well, she did do it intentionally twice.
You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have Port Authority escort you out the building right this moment. If you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good. I'll just put this on.
He shut his mouth real quick.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully he keeps his job, man.
I hope so, man.
Weird, man. Like I've never been in a situation, and I guess that's kind of where this shit's gonna happen. Like it's gonna be instances like this, places of employment. I've never dealt with anything like that. Most people haven't. Like where you just get someone that's like, "Hey, you misgendered." I wouldn't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah,
like
this was a perfect response. It's like,
yeah,
if you took it that way, that's fine. Don't be condescending. I can escort you out. And they shut the fuck up as soon as this dude said, if you want to play this game, we can play it. And I have the authority to handle you. But you're right. Like I've never been in, I don't think I've ever, I'm trying to remember, have I ever been in a situation like that?
I mean, not on the internet, like weird shit, but like I've never been in a situation where someone was like, you misgendered me or something along those lines. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. Like I'd be like, the fuck? Like that'd probably be that would probably be my natural like reflex reaction. I'd be like, the fuck? Like what? Like, I don't know how exactly you respond to somebody that's just that bad shit that would correct you on that.
And they typically just they exist in the slums of the internet, and that's it. They ain't out in the real world. Like, and I would guarantee you, like if there wasn't a camera and there wasn't the ability to post this on social media and go viral, that conversation probably never happens from that person's perspective. But because they thought they could get clicks and they could get attention and play a fake victim, they wanted to record it. But like, I don't think that there's anybody out there that genuinely would go like, you've misgendered me, like without there being some level of attention that they can get for it, because that's really what the whole point of it is to get attention and to be a fake victim and to get sympathy online. That's what it's all, geared around.
I wouldn't even know how to do that. Like somebody would say some shit like that to me and I'd be like, bro, what the fuck? Like what? That's such a weird thing to say to somebody. Right. And especially if, look, when you look a certain way, you look a certain way. I mean, it is what it is. And I just figured, just on some human being stuff, like just on a human tip, you can't really fault someone for like, if you look like a dude, right? Like, I don't care what you go by, right? You can't fault someone like saying that, like that shouldn't be a point of contention. Even if you were like, I prefer not to, it's a delusion for sure. But even if you were under this delusion and you're like, I prefer not to go by this, I would prefer to go by Zim Zer or whatever the fuck. Like, you can't knock someone being like, hey, bro, I see a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. That's my reflex, is to treat you exactly like that or refer to you as that. And you would think a rational human being would be like, at least understanding of that. Like, your position is not a normal position, right? So you can't expect people. It's like if I was, I'm a black dude, right? So it's like, but if let's assume like I was Indian, right? Because I have basically the same skin tone as like some Indians, right? So let's assume that I was actually Indian. I take this hat off and my hair straight and everything, and I was a fucking Indian. Like, I wouldn't get mad if someone was like assuming that I was like black. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't be my natural reflex to be like, oh, you're wrong. Like, it's just a weird thing. It's like, dude, you know how you fucking look. You look like a dude. So if you go by Zim Zer and someone calls you a dude, ain't nothing to it. Ain't nothing fucking to it. You shouldn't be tripping on some shit like that. But to your point, it's all this attention stuff. This is kind of the world like that we live in. This is why it exists most time on the internet. But yeah, if someone gets some clicks out of it and try to bait someone into some shit, but nobody still topped its ma'am though. GameStop.
No, not at all.
That's still voted.
That is by far the best one. I'm trying to find it right now. There's a Dean Cain tweet that's the best tweet ever.
Oh, the one where he was like, and where they said he was pretending.
Yes.
Oh no, he was like, I think it was. Oh yes, it was.
Here it is. I got it. Neither one
Yeah.
is so the original tweet is gone that he was responding to, but it's I think neither of you are girls. And then someone says, and you were never Superman either. He goes, correct. I pretended.
Yeah. And for people that don't know what that old photo was, it was Dylan Mulvaney and some other they, them, or whatever. And yeah, he said, I think neither of you are girls.
this person with the Blockbuster video and the bio was like, hey, you were never thinking that was gonna be a own. He's like,
yeah, he thought
right.
he had him all for sure. He's like, hey, I'm about to tell off they gotta check this clap back. Right? He thought he had something. He thought he had or if that's what him like Zobeth, I don't know. It could go either way. Is it Zimzer?
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's all kinds
holy
of
whoa.
I don't fucking know, man. Look at that bio, bro. We got all the flags. We got Blockbuster Video flag, Biden, Harris. She got all the bases covered. I'm not seeing pronouns.
Got Trump in it. Got Trump in there. Of course.
Yeah, Trump's in there somewhere.
So what
sure.
is this? Making podcasts great again. So they've got an anti-Trump podcast named after Trump. Holy shit.
They got all the boxes checked, got the rainbow flag, got all the flags in there, man. So Blockbuster flag, yeah, everything's good.
I remember, I'll never forget when I responded to that person, like on Twitter. They were saying something, and I quote you. I was like, "I see you support Blockbuster Video too. So do I." And they got so fucking.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh
good.
man,
idiots, man.
Holy crap! Rumble, Sean Sora for 100 over on Rumble says, "Hey, wish you all a happy Christmas." So, big question. Oh, this is a big question. I think we're going to have to. So I don't have anybody here on my team, but Can Man, I know you're here in the chat, and Eric, you're in the chat. I don't have Krista or Steph here, but we're gonna ask the whole panel this for next week. So because this is gonna take some time. But he says, what are your top 5 games for each decades? 5 for 1990 through 1999, 5 for 2000 to 2010, 5 from 2011 to 2019, and 5 from 2020 to 2023. Thanks and have a great 199 day. That is a big question. It's going to take some time, but I think that'll be a great discussion for next week.
That'll be a cool discussion.
That will be a fantastic discussion for next week. So I'm gonna. Yeah, let me get that screenshotted right now, and I'll forward that over to the ladies, and we'll make sure that we put that together for the whole panel. And we will do that up next week. That'll be good.
It's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be a tough one to put together.
Man.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much. Over here on the YouTube side, welcome in everybody. 2,000 people here. Retro Meister says, hail chat and late Merry Christmas. I notice every AAA game like God of War 4 to Spider-Woke 2 all seem to have this sweet baby ink involved in the game storytelling. And then Retro Maestro says, with the cringe clip from the new Suicide Squad, is it a stretch to say that SBI supports groomers? Well, the sweet baby ink story is something I've heard a lot about, and I haven't done a deep dive into it, but there's clearly something going on with a lot of these AAA games. And honestly, like, I know that we always reference like how big gaming is and everything like that. And it is big. I mean, it's massive. No, it's the biggest entertainment property out there, and it's not even close. But while gaming is the biggest, I think a lot of people don't understand, and this is a testament to the industry, the retro gaming market is massive. I mean, I'm sorry, indie gaming market is massive. The indie gaming market is massive. And I'd made this comment a while back because I was talking about the Nintendo Switch and how many software sales the Switch had. Like, it's insane, the numbers that the Switch has had. And I'd made the comment like it has to be like 90% like Nintendo first party titles. That's not true. Like, on the Switch, on the eShop, is the retro or the indie gaming market is incredible. Same with Steam. Like, people don't understand how vast the indie gaming market is. It's unbelievable. Now, obviously, I know I misspoke and said retro. Yes, the retro gaming market is huge too, but that's not like the current kind of sales trend that we're talking about. But the indie gaming market is massive. And it's like the gaming industry mirrors what I think the entertainment industry will become down the road with things like the Rippaverse and independent creators. Because the gaming market, obviously, you do have your top games out there that push the industry forward, but it's the indie market that really is the heart and soul of the industry.
Well, I mean, it's like a growing thing. I think a lot with between these engines and Unreal and all that, what it's doing is similar to what we're seeing in some of these other entertainment industries, is that the barrier of entry has been low. I mean, we've talked about some of these games that get built and it's like 2 people, right? And they built the whole damn thing out. Like, so it's becoming more, and I hate to use this term accessible, because generally that term in gaming means your game is going to shit once people start prioritizing accessibility shit. But it's the barrier of entry has been, I guess, lowered would be the more proper term. And that's good, right? That's awesome. And I think, and we're starting to see it. I think people are becoming more realist, right? You walked away from basically Star Wars. I walked away from Marvel, which is like unheard of, but we're there. It's like we now reached that fucking apathy stage and we're like, whatever, man. Like, I just don't even care to even talk about it or cover it. So the reason why I bring that up is because, like, I think that's going to be the attitude for as long as these properties keep kind of getting ran in the direction that they're going. That's going to be the attitude and the general consensus for a lot of people. But the demand isn't going to go anywhere. So that's where the independents start to kind of. It's a great time. It's ripe in gaming. To the Super Chatter's point, you're seeing all this weird stuff happen. It's ripe in comics. You see all the weird stuff happen. So it's allowing people to come in, and it's like you get eyes, and you never would have got those back in the Gap, right? It always had to be funneled through the bigger companies. And now it's like, well, people have been turned off by them and they're looking for something different. So this is where why these indies have been able to take off in the way that they are, because there's a demand for it. Yes, again, barrier of entry has been lowered, but also simultaneously they're being assisted by these AAA companies because of the dog water that they're producing. And it's giving people are willing to give other stuff a chance that they didn't in previous decades. And that's where independents can get to taking advantage of it.
Yeah, well said. JMD Elite for 20 on Rumble says, since when has Tuesday night's main event turned into the tag team of Hillbilly Jim and the Junkyard Dog?
I'll take that. I'll fucking take that all day long.
Hell yeah.
I will fucking take that.
Hail, by the way, fantasy booking I saw on Cornet video, Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart. Imagine that in-ring mastery. I don't know if you'll ever have a better match. That if you get Kurt Angle at his prime versus Bret Hart in his prime, that might be untouchable. You know what I mean? Untouchable.
Pretty good.
Because Bret Hart is the greatest in-ring technical wrestler, and it's not even close. Like, if you want to talk about somebody that living up to their nickname, the excellence of execution, like Bret Hart was the best technician ever, and it's not even close, man. It's really not close.
Yeah, no, it's not. He's the best. He's a freaking technician. Nobody got hurt on his watch. He was the best.
It's so sad that like Goldberg kind of basically ended
ruined his career.
That
sucks, man. That sucks.
Yeah. So that's but yeah, that's a good one, JM the Elite fan. I dig that. That was good right there. So man, you guys are crazy tonight. And
there's only 2 of us, and it's over 20, almost 2,200 people.
I know. And I did have someone reached out that wants to pop in here. So we'll see if I send him the link. So we'll see if it's somebody that's got, let's just say this is the most knowledgeable gamer I know. And I'm not memeing on that. It's not Gary. So don't think, because I know everybody's like, but legitimately the most knowledgeable gamer I know. We'll see if he pops in here. But okay, Disco Cobra, you mad lad, dropping $100 super chat.
Shut up.
Drop a red boy up in here, says Disco Cobra. Hope everyone, including the chat, have a safe and happy new year. Hope the Cobra 199 channel does some wrestling related streams as well, like breakdown, old school stuff, and the Attitude Era. Would love a panel stream just discussing that. Dude, listen, as we get that channel figured out, and please, if you can, go retweet or tag Team YouTube under my tweet just to get them to look at this. That would help a lot. I can show you which tweet. So that's really the name of the game, is just getting attention on your tweets. That's about the only damn way.
Yeah, that's the only way they'll respond.
Yeah, right here. If you guys can go to my most recent tweet, I think I know Ripa retweeted
Yeah, I
this yesterday.
retweeted. There's another one that's YouTube creators. I'm tagging them in there too.
So all of this happened within a few hours today. It's obviously a mistake. Hopefully at Team YouTube will get this resolved soon. It's a new gaming channel of mine. All of my other channels are fine. So this was yesterday morning. I woke up to this. Congratulations. Your dedication has paid off, and you're now among a prestigious community of creators building their voices and businesses on YouTube. A few hours later, our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded. I'm like, what? So again, it is an AI situation. A bot just looked at it and, and thought that I guess it just thought that I was re-uploading content or somebody was re-uploading content as me, and some of my titles did look similar. But yeah, I've only done like 4 or 5 streams over there. That's it. And it was all Fortnite. And it's all original content. And I did one top 5 video game or top 5 Super Nintendo games short over there. And that's it. That's the only content over there. So the reuse of content argument falls flat. All I need is a human being to look at it.
It'll be fixed.
And what I what I will love to do is, and I don't really like, I don't know Geekdom that well. We follow each other on Twitter, but I know he knows me and I know him. I would love to get Geekdom on to talk wrestling along with other people. I'd love to get Ripa on there. I know you're not caught up on the current product, but I know you're your old school fan.
Outside of LA Knight, like I don't know shit about what's going on in fucking the current area.
Bro, when's the last time you watched?
Fuck. When did I tap out? That's a good question.
See, I tapped out 2013 after Punk quit.
It was before that for sure for me. It was for sure. It had to be in the mid 2000s. It was when the Cena push really started to be a thing, and by then I started to check out, for sure, because it got a little weird after that. Rock versus Stone Cold for me was like
that the WrestleMania 19, the last one for Stone Cold.
Was, after that, it started to get weird.
Yeah,
for me at least. I can't speak for everybody else.
Well, Punk's the only person, and again, I want to clarify. I think CM Punk's a piece of shit human being, but I think he's a fantastic wrestler. But Punk is what kept me involved until he quit, because he was the last guy that blended that line of because wrestling's at its best when you have to question if there's real heat. You know what I mean? Is there real heat? Do these guys really hate each other? I genuinely thought that Stone Cold and Bret Hart hated each other because of how good their work was. And the reality of it was Bret Hart was behind pushing Stone Cold the whole time. That was all Bret Hart was like, this guy's the next guy. I'm going to help elevate this guy. But I felt like Bret Hart really hated Stone Cold during their heat. You know what I mean? Because it felt like Bret Hart really does hate Stone Cold. He hates that Stone Cold is taking his fans and he's taking his moments. And no, the reality of it was Bret Hart was instrumental behind the scenes of going, I'm here to help Stone Cold Steve Austin become the man. That's beautiful stuff. You know what I mean? And it's rare when you can find that. It's rare when you can see that. So, but yeah, so I'd like to get Geekdom on. I'd like to get, obviously Stuttering Craig, Razor Fist, as obviously people on my team, Epic Mike, Odin, Rudai. I mean, I might just have to do a Zoom call. We may just have 40 fucking people on here. You know what I mean? And I think that would be beautiful, the chaos that would be happening. We'd have our own version of a Royal Rumble over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a good discussion. So I am at least interested right now with what they're doing from a storytelling standpoint. So I guess we'll see how it goes. So but yeah, thanks Disco Cobra. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you. Tomac for 50. Where's it at? Right here. Indie games are dope, Jeremy. I did send you the list of some games that should be coming out next year. You may want to look at Arrow GPX for those you are missing. For those of you that are missing F-Zero. Thank you, Tomac. I did get that notification on Twitter, and I appreciate you always looking out, man. Good stuff indeed. Ripple, you've been having some fun on Twitter the last few days.
It's been a blast.
Dude, listen, I'm not trying to disparage anybody that's trying to make it, because everybody's trying to make it. Everybody's looking for that break. Everybody's looking for that moment to break through. If you ask me, like, I just on the YouTube side, okay, just on the YouTube side, I am now, like, at this point in time, I have like 10 channels. I have almost 1 million subscribers across all of them, I think. I'm more confused now on how to run a YouTube channel than I was when I started, when I had less than 1,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? Because the more you're in it, the more confusing it is. What I will say is the reason I went 4 years on YouTube with less than 1,000 subscribers, and I tried everything. I tried promoting. I tried going on Facebook and Twitter and telling people to subscribe. I even went and, you remember those fucking Facebook groups back, like sub for sub bullshit, sub for my channel, I'll sub to your channel. Like, I was trying everything. You know what I mean? When it started working, when I started to, basically when I gained enough confidence and found things that I was passionate about and just started speaking as unfiltered as humanly possible on a platform that has rules. And that's when I started to develop, a following, and it kind of took off from there. And as we've grown, as this whole thing has taken off, it's been awesome to see. I've seen other people grow their channels. I've seen people get bigger than I was, that were far smaller people, like Gary. Gary's gonna hit.
Gary, I remember vividly, he had like 5,000 subs to my like 200.
Damn.
And then he's fucking
he
almost have double the subs that I have now. That's fucking crazy. That's
wild.
That's how quick it fucking happens.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw Gary, he had like, I don't know, I feel like he had like 30 or 40,000 subs the first time I saw his channel, because he filled in for me on the High Council, and he had like 700 or 800 people watching his stream at that time. And I'm like, and back then, to pull 700 or 800 people on a stream was huge. You know what I mean? Like, that was top tier numbers. I'm like, this guy's got 700 or 800 people watching on a channel with 30 or 40,000 or whatever he had. I can't remember. And I just remember going, this guy's got the juice. You know what I mean? Like, Gary's got the juice, and obviously Gary's crushing it now, and he's the rock star, and he deserves it.
Absolutely.
He did it out of like being dedicated and being knowledgeable and being basically the Joe Rogan of the nerd sphere is what he is. And but Ripa, like, okay, let's be real. Like, Ripa just got like 3 different campaigns at $1 million. 3 different campaigns, unheard of. Okay,
unreal, man. Yeah.
And much like me on this main channel, it's hard for me and Ripa to bust like 50,000 views on our YouTube channel these days, because the algorithm's a bitch.
True. 100%.
That's just as real as it is. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is that you keep the grind and you keep going forward. Now that you are the undisputed king of comics, as me and Gary continue to claim, you got a lot of people. You got a lot of people thinking you owe them everything.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I'll let you talk more about this, because I haven't been on Twitter too much, but I have been seeing a lot of the interactions you've with. I keep seeing people, especially on this advice post you gave, and they're like, you had massive YouTubers and corporations and TV channels promoting you. Listen, when I met Ripa, Anna, that Star Wars girl, introduced us long time ago. You and her had met, and I think y'all had a stream. She calls me up. She goes, "Hey, I just met this guy, Eric. He's an awesome dude. I think you and him would get along really, really good." And I was like, "All right, cool." She goes, "You and him really will hit it off." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I think she had you on her channel, and she brought me on, and that's when I met you.
Something like that, yeah.
And then me and Ripa, we did a one-on-one show over here on Geeks and Gamers, and we didn't really do much after that for a while, but we stayed friendly and stayed in contact, and it was obvious that me and him were saw eye to eye on a lot of stuff. And then we kind of got together. I remember we were talking about Tuesday night's main event. We were talking about starting this up, and this has been a great launching point for us. But yeah, me and him just become really good friends. I've watched Rippa maintain relationship after relationship after relationship with so many people. So at no point in time did he ever ask me for anything or demand anything. If he would have, I would have told him to go fuck himself.
As you should.
Like I would tell anybody else. So maintaining all those relationships is why he had so many people promoting him. And I could say that firsthand. But yeah, so what you've done with the Rippaverse has been incredible. On the flip side of it, I've seen Rippa go from a successful YouTuber to a legitimate, like massively successful independent content comic creator. I still ain't hit him up to ask him for money. I thought about it.
Yeah,
I thought about it. But what's going on with you these days and all this, man? Because you've been having all type of stuff going on.
It's been interesting. So let's set the scene. I guess we got to kind of let's set the scene. So really, some of this popped up from a fake narrative. Let's be honest. It was this fake narrative of Eric July does not, like, I guess, promote other people's work, right? We all know that's not true, right? That's from the Jays, Razor Fists, I did Kevin Grievous, Graham Nolan, and all the people that have been on the channel over the past several years. We all know that it's a fake narrative. It's not true, right? However, from that sprung an interesting kind of conversation surrounding this whole idea of promotion and obligation to it, right? And I maintain that you should never ask, you should never expect, anticipate that anybody is going to put you on or promote you. That should be your attitude as a creative. I don't care if you flipping pancakes and selling them bad boys, or if you're doing like comics. It does not matter. Your primary focus needs to be your business, your brand, whatever it is that you're trying to create. And my position is, and I've lived through this, and I'll explain here in a little bit, is that all of that stuff will come. So the argument isn't that, let's say, someone promoting you doesn't help. What we're saying is number one, nobody has any obligation to do it. And number two, it comes off as cheap if you are going around asking for it, and then somebody like just pays cheap lip service to it, right? And on top of that, I've never asked anybody to do that, like to your point. So people need to understand, and I get it, right? Some people's introduction to me was the Rippaverse, right? For some people, right? So that was like, it became a thing. And I think they get it twisted, and they think I kind of just popped up out of nowhere, right? And it's like, I've been on YouTube longer than your favorite YouTubers, right? I've been here since I was 16 years old, okay? And I've grown and I built a rapport with my audience over the past years, and I would leverage several audiences and several, it's funny, we're talking about the variety stuff. Like I went from doing the hip hop scene stuff. I was doing the vocal covers. I did, I was in the metal bands like Fire from the Gods and Backwards, comic book commentary, political comment. I was leveraging all those audiences, and that's what got us to the point to where before I even launched it, I had 500,000 subs on YouTube, right? Like that was before anybody knew anything about it. And so when you look at something like New York Post or Fox or even Blaze, they didn't cover the Rippaverse and then it became successful.
Covered it after it became successful.
They covered it after it became successful. And that's the reason why it got on their radar, because it made $1 million in a day, right? So that's why New York Post was like, oh, we want to cover this story. And that's why I say your approach as a creative and as a businessman should be focusing on your thing, and then people actually wanting to fuck with you is going to happen naturally, right? I used Gary as an example. He's funny. We were just talking about him and everything else it is that we do. Gary get 1 million damn views on a video and he's wearing an ISOM shirt.
Yep.
I have never, ever asked him to do that. I've never asked him to promote me. I've never tried to demand myself on one of his live shows on Real BBC with him and that. Never have I done that. Everything that he's done is on his own accord. And that's the type of support it is that you want. Like genuine, not insincere, genuine enthusiasm is what it is that you want. You want people that rock with you for you and for your brand. If you're waiting for people to move your world for you, you are hustling backwards. That should not be your attitude. So, it kind of sprung this dispute or rather debate online where some people look at it like, well, you're in this position and now you're on an obligation as if, and this is my argument here. Also, I'll end on this note. If you are using me as a metric, right, which I don't think that's the best thing to do, but if you are using me as a metric, I think you should be fair. And if you want to be in my position, you need to be prepared to put in 18 fucking years of work of building your own independence and in your own brand in independence. 18 years, because that was 17 technically from me in the public sphere to the Rippaverse launching. That's how long it took. 17 years. So you need to be prepared to put in that much or as much as I did in order to get in the position that I did. And along the way, never asked you. When have I ever asked you, Jeremy? You and I being the good friends that we are, when the fuck have I ever asked you to do a video on ISOM or do some shit? Like I don't do that shit. Right?
I would promise you, if you would have early on, if before I really got to know you, all right, if you would have been like, yo, hey, just a heads up, man, I'm be working on this project, and I just want to make sure, like you're gonna be able to promote it for me. I'm like, no, and do you know what I would have done? I would have made a video about Rippa. I wouldn't have mentioned Rippa. I would have just stopped talking about him and stopped talking to him. I've been like, yeah, this dude's just basically working me. You know what I mean? And I would have just moved on, and that's what I've done with people. Because I think, like, I don't necessarily think YouTube beef is beneficial to anybody at all. Like, and I also think that it's disrespectful. Like, I think the audiences are smart enough to make up their own mind. If you watch somebody because you want to watch them. It ain't my fucking business. You can watch whoever you want. I don't give a shit. Give people money. Support who you want to support, man. It's not for me to tell you who to react to or who to watch or whatever. But I'll just kind of move on. And that's exactly what would have happened. If Ripple would have shown me that he was being any type of manipulative or trying to cozy up to me or anybody else,
like a fucking transaction.
Yes. Then all of a sudden, that's the reason that he and me are friends is because he's not like that, and I've dealt with a lot of people on YouTube that simply are interested in, whatever. Look, man, there's people
like you, right? It's like they just want to go, and it becomes so fucking obvious. And even if, let's just assume that you did put someone on like that, like, it's going to come off as insincere, and the audience is going to pick up on that.
Yep.
They're going to pick up on that. Like, you can't really sell a product to your own audience, right? That you don't have any sort of passion that's with it, like a cheap post, retweet. I mean, like, not to say that stuff doesn't help or can't help, but relationships, it goes much longer of a way, and they'll do that on their own accord when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's going to come along and is going to pass Rippa at some point in time. It's going to happen. And that's the nature of the business. And then what's going to happen is him being a competitive person, that's probably going to motivate him to
light a fire upon it.
Yeah,
I call him, I'll reach out. Hell, I try to pick up some game. If I definitely, and this is what I said, if you would ask someone, I would say, from a business, I guess, perspective, it would be more important. You and I talk about that a lot, like off stream, right? Like about business, just in general. You'll call me, or about, hey, I'm thinking about this. What you think, right? And stuff like that, right? That's how you and our relationship is, right? So that is what I would think. If you absolutely feel like you have to ask someone that's in a position that you want to be in, or they have a platform, I can argue, or I would make the argument that the more valuable thing you should be asking them is not to promote your shit. The more valuable thing you can ask them is how they got in the position. What's the workflow, challenges, expectations. That's what it is that you should be asking them. And if someone was more successful in what it is that I was doing, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be hitting them up like, hey, how the fuck did you do that? Like, let and put me on game. And maybe it doesn't cross over. I'm not gonna say it's like I can make it work, but if I can pick up some game, you know, that's gonna be my approach. As for like, you know, advice, perspective, you know, that should be the approach. Not like, hey, pay me some lip service and put me on. Like,
right.
You can't have that attitude, bro.
And like, this is not like this conversation is not meant to deter anybody or anything. It's basically just meant to motivate you to go, don't rely on anybody but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rely on anybody but yourself. If you're caught chasing shout outs or promotions, then you're chasing the wrong thing. Like for me, I am a classic example of it. Move forward and don't give up on whatever it is you aspire to be. I will never forget back in like 2014, 2015, I used to watch Collider Movie Talk. I used to watch Schmoes Know. I used to watch all these guys. I looked at John Campea and Christian Harloff and, you know, Mark Ellis and John Schnepp. And I was just like, these guys, because I basically was like Sports Center for movies is what it was back then. I was like, these guys have it all. They have people watching them. They have this, they go to movies. They get to talk about movies with their friends. They have this huge audience. They have a life that I could never have. And I wish I could have something like that. Well, fast forward all these time later. And in a lot of ways, like we surpassed what they were. Absolutely. With like Friday Night 100%. Tights and all of that. It's just, and to me, that's astonishing. I met John Campea at Star Wars Celebration in 2017, shook his hand and told him, you will know my name in a few years. And I want to be clear. He was not disrespectful, but it was kind of like dismissive, but not in a, he's like, oh yeah, sure, man. Yeah. Cause again, I meet people too, you know, you have people coming up to you all the time, you know what I mean? And he just kind of just feels like, oh man, yeah, sure. Yeah. And it wasn't like he was being a dick, but I took that personally, Mike, to quote Michael Jordan. And now he hates my guts. So he does know my name. But yeah, so you can make it. There's nothing holding you back but you. And I remember when I basically got laid off from my job late 2017. I got laid off from my job because they were downsizing. I got a severance package and I essentially had 3 to 5 months of pay. And I was like, I've got to do something on YouTube if I want to do it. I have nothing. This is my last hurrah. You know what I mean? And I don't want to work retail for the rest of my life. So I'm at a point in time where if I don't make this happen, I'm going to have to basically continue on the retail world. And luckily, The Last Jedi happened and opened a few doors for me. And the rest has been history. But you can get out there and do it, and you'll be shocked at the results if you get out there and apply yourself.
That's the thing, man. The focus has to be on you and your brand first and foremost. Like that has to be like everything, man. Like that has to be, you have to be hyper focused on that, because what happens if, you know, you do get that promotion? Let's say someone does give it a chance and they say something about it. You need to be ready, right? You need to be prepared. You need to be ready. And if you're not presenting something it is that they actually want, well, you just missed your boat, right?
Yep.
So that's why it's like always about beating on your craft and just trying to be better. Is that should be the mind, and it is very much a mindset type of thing in any sort of creative space, any business sense. You know what I mean? Like that's what you have to do. You have to prioritize being the best version of yourself and your your craft, a brand, a business, whatever it is you're trying to do, and doing that to your best of ability, and everything will happen organically. Right. Everything. I didn't stumble across this, man. I know some people want that to happen, but I did not stumble. This was not something that I just fell into. This was years upon years of work. And the reason why you see these people that talk about it that have also bigger channels is because we've built relationships and it's all been organic. Nothing was ever forced. Nothing was ever we felt like we had to, I owe you, you owe me. Like there was never any of that sort of thing going on. It was always like, oh, okay, we became cool, we became friends, and we just kind of, hey, it's obviously Jay puts out a book, I go to bat, I'm gonna go to bat for it all day long. He doesn't have to ask me to do that though. It's not and he doesn't expect me to do it. Jay doesn't expect anybody to do anything. Like this is just his attitude. But you know, that's organic, that's natural. And if you're just being a good dude to good people, and you have something to present that you really worked on, that's how you take advantage of the situation in the moment, and that's how you see the success. But don't be asking, and especially don't be expecting, because you'll be let down. And also, look, this is the reality. Exposure isn't good enough when it comes to sales, right? Views and retweets and shit, that's one thing. But I'm talking about actual sales. Exposure only goes so far. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that are bigger than me, that are more known than I am, that have not done what I've done, right? Keanu Reeves also did a campaign, right?
Yep.
And we obliterated it. I'm pretty sure more people know who the fuck Keanu Reeves is, like him, especially.
Hey,
he's one of
here's
the
a
most likable people in Hollywood.
And I don't know the answer to this question, okay? But Moist Critical.
Yeah, we've done
like,
better than that as well. Way bigger of a YouTuber, right?
He's massive. Moist
Right?
Critical is one of the biggest content creators on this platform, period. He gets minimum like 2-3 million views to just sit there and talk. It's incredible, his following. People respect the hell out of Charlie. All right. Respect it. I like Charlie. I love watching Charlie. I don't know what is it, God Slap, I think. I don't know what the numbers for God Slap are, but like, you know, like just because you have a bunch of subs and a bunch of followers, it's just not going to directly translate.
It never does. It never does. Like, a whole lot of things have to go right. The audience has to be right for it. It has to also be something they wanted, right? Like, our presentation, I made sure, I've learned that with being in a band. Our presentation with the Rippaverse was like a big focus. Y'all saw a highly produced trailer, 2 of them, right? You had mine, like the coming out party with the talking about the Rippaverse ethics and everything, and then you had the ISOM trailer, right? That was massive. You know, we had the campaign page, we're showing you some interiors, or showing you all these other different things. You know, we were ready. Like, we were ready, and everybody was right. But yeah, just because you're exposed to someone's audience doesn't mean that you know, that's going to translate over. And the reason why I say you shouldn't be focused on that, because you're going to enter into a state of absolute depression when you do get that promotion, and then it doesn't translate into the sales that you thought that was going to. You thought you finally got it. You've been chasing this. I just need X person to retweet it or post about it, and then that doesn't translate to the sales. And now you're like, I was waiting on that. That was my moment. I thought that was going to be what sent everything over the edge, and then it didn't happen. Right. So that shouldn't even be part of your vocabulary of trying to ask or expect.
Yeah.
Just like, people, you shouldn't do that.
Many people are asking. So Moist Critical, his Penguin Zero is his YouTube channel now. I think he's at like 14 million subscribers. He's very respected in the commentary community. And I mean, look, it's just like anything else in life. You know, you agree with some people, you disagree. I think Charlie, his name's Charlie. I think he's got a pretty level-headed take on most things. And he's got a massive following. He's definitely, his fan base is passionate as hell. And so he has his own comic as well. So that's why I brought him up. So for those that don't know. But yeah, I like him though. I like him. Dude, there's so many people that want him to go after me. Oh, they're like, I can't wait for Charlie to roast Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. It's funny. Maybe one day it will. I don't know. Dude, I saw his review of Rebel Moon. Whew. Bro, let's just say Moist Critical is not affiliated with Zack Snyder either. I will say that much, man. He went off on Rebel Moon. Damn. Rebel Moon's terrible. You probably haven't watched it. I haven't seen it,
but yeah.
Bro, it's bad. It's really bad.
Gary, there's no review, but
it's bad. It's awful. It's a terrible movie, man. It really is. Bro, Eric, I did see the Iron Claw. I'm telling you, you'll fucking love it, man. Yeah. You need to watch that shit.
You know, I should. It's like Von Erickson. You know, they're all hometown heroes, right? They're from out here. You know, so it's like I should go. If there is a movie, it's that.
It is not an easy movie to watch, though, bro. It's fantastic.
I can imagine.
It's fantastic, and they even leave out one of the brothers just from a standpoint of it just didn't work narratively, I guess, and I can understand because. There's just total. I think he had 6. 6 was there 6 total? I think.
So was it 5 or 6?
So well, there was a
Did they
younger
talk
one.
about the young one
They
that
briefly
the first one?
touched on that. Briefly
They
touched
did?
on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That
but there was
sucks. That was such a crazy story, man. Like
I know.
that's just
And
nuts, man. Just
yeah.
so just a man, dude. That
yeah.
fuck,
And
man.
the fact that Kevin had the fact that Kevin Von Erich is still with us through all of that and created a family and all of that.
Man,
That's
that's
wild,
nuts, man. That's
Yeah.
it's such a crazy story, man. Just in
Mhm.
general, man. It's just
Yeah.
nuts.
So, let's see. But yeah, so again, highly recommend the Iron Claw to anybody who, even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's a great movie. And Zac Efron, it definitely gives a career defining performance in that movie. And but I will say, I don't know if you saw the clips. The Ric Flair in the movie is horrible.
Oh no.
Oh man, he's only in it for like it's one promo, but Ripper, bro, it's bad. It's awful.
How they fucked that up, man?
Awful. It's so bad. So yeah, the Ric Flair in it, they shouldn't even have had him in it. It was offensive to me as a wrestling fan to see what they tried to do with Flair. It was terrible. Now, to be fair, nobody can be Ric Flair but Ric Flair. You know what I mean? But whew,
that's rough. That's rough.
It was bad.
Well, did we have any Dusty Rhodes sightings in there?
No Dusty. P.S. Hayes. So you had Michael Hayes.
Okay.
So you had the Freebirds, because obviously the Freebirds and the Von Erichs were massive in terms of their back and forth. Back in the day, and I didn't know this when I was currently watching wrestling when it was happening, because I remember Kerry Von Erich being the Texas Tornado in WWF and winning the IC title. I had no idea that he was wrestling on one foot. I had no idea. I had no idea at the time. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he covered it up really well. But yeah, go see the Iron Claw if you have not. And let's see. I loved it though. I loved it. But okay, man, we have a lot of super chats. There's a lot of people here. I did not know what type of turnout we were going to have. So essentially, a lot of people are out of town, still doing their thing. So I just, like I said, I was planning on going live briefly tonight, and then I found out Ripple was around. So I was like, well, me and Ripple we'll just do it up. You know what I mean? So might as well, know. So easy. The Real Smile Bits is just an FYI. I got my refund today, so it took a day to get it back. Once you get the new channel situated, we'll donate the memberships. Thank you, Real Smile Bit. I appreciate it, man. So I'm glad to hear that you got I'm glad you got to hear that, got the confirmation that you got your refund, because yeah, I'm fairly certain, like I was telling everybody that donated yesterday, once they suspended everything or it didn't go through, Real Smile Bit did this on Geeks and Gamers Live. He dropped 50 gifted memberships, and then it didn't go through, and then he got the refund the next day, but that did get situated over there. This one on my Cobra 199 channel, whole different ball game. So we'll see. We'll get it all situated, and I'm planning on playing the finals. Everybody's talking about the finals. So me and Hailstorm are going to be playing that. I've actually got people asking me to play Warzone 2. So I know Tim the Tap Man and those guys have been playing it. Obviously I'm not Call of Duty sucks. But you do have a different developer this time working on it. So, but I don't know if Warzone, I liked the first Warzone, but they fucked Warzone up a lot. Hailstorm, there's Hailstorm in the chat. So I'm game to play whatever the people want to watch over there on that channel though. So we'll see. But the finals is something I'm definitely looking forward to playing. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that. All right, we got gifted memberships flying in. We got Sir Straith for 10 gifted memberships. GJJ gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, GJJ. And thank you to everybody tuning in, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube. We appreciate it. Viper Chief says I got Modern Warfare 3 for Christmas. After Viper Chief was lying about my stream the other day, I shouldn't mention him, but might as well. So but yeah, Call of Duty's been fucked up for a while. There's actually a video that I was watching on a comparison of Fortnite and Call of Duty, and how Call of Duty, they've literally just ignored the community's concerns for like years. And then when Fortnite got complaints about the movement, Fortnite fixed it in less than a week. You know what I mean? And that's the reason Fortnite stays so relevant. They listen to the damn audience. It's not that hard. Call of Duty, people have been bitching about Call of Duty for years. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see if I get back into those and give the people the feedback. But the finals is something I'm definitely interested to checking out and seeing what they got going on with that. Celluloid Dream says, Tuesday nights gay events. Quentin upgraded membership to the 199 battalion. Thank you, Quentin. The oncurring Santa Sled says, Hail Ripa. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, Hail Tuesday night's main event, and chat, hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. So much for not doing Tuesday night's main event today, but I'm not going to complain. Ripa, keep on that grind. Hell yes. Mr. Dangs with a member message 199. Ad Victorium says, sending a super chat to wish Ripa a very merry first day of Kwanzaa. Did you hear Sean Connery died?
Jesus Christ.
Master Austin, hope y'all had a Merry Christmas. Hail the 199. Thank you. Adam Wright says, Ripa, is there any chance you might get let's see, is it Bloodroot to do Yaira one cover?
Who?
I don't know. It says Bloodroot.
I'm not familiar with that artist.
Buddruut. Is that like an inside joke?
Nah, I don't know who the hell that is. Maybe but no, I have no idea who that is.
Crazy Clown Town says you should try rocket racing on Fortnite. Let's see. I've heard that it's really good. I have not played it yet. I also want to play Lego Fortnite. There's way too much to play. And I'm trying to find time to do it. But when it comes down to it, I just want to play Fortnite. That's really, dude, Az is obsessed with Lego Fortnite now. I didn't even know Az played any Fortnite. So now he's obsessed with Lego Fortnite. That's crazy. So I don't know. I never got into Minecraft. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Alec Tuttle says it Sticks on Timcast next month. Let's start a campaign to allow Sticks to chokeslam power bomb Ian through a table that night. Is Sticks really going to be on Timcast? That's cool. Let's see. Guy Incognito says, congrats to Ripa and the Ripaverse team on their success. Many happy returns and Merry Christmas to the 199 and the fellowship. Thank you. Chris Benoit. Oh boy, here we go. Mr. Ripa, I respect your work ethic. I too have had people demand I listen to them on how to do things as if they know better than I do on how to raise a family. I worked hard to get where I am now. God dang, man.
Jesus, man.
Oh man. Let's see. Ginger says, I really hope young Ripa 59 is next to Stan Lee of comic books. I really hope young Ripa 59 is the next Stan Lee of the comic books. He already is, man. Nah, that's way too much pressure.
Yeah, look, I get the man. People have been levying that, man, and it's so difficult for me to I get it. It's a positive thing, right? They mean it. They mean it well. I'm in a little bit of a different situation, right? Than what Stan was, and that Stan never owned Marvel, right? That was never an opportunity that he had got. So the opportunities that I have was unheard of back then. So I'm operating on a different playing field, right? It's a little different in terms of what it is that we're doing. But look, I appreciate it. If these characters are going to last for the next 70 years, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But we got a long ways to go.
Yeah, as long as people are saying that, then that's a good thing. So
yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a good thing. So let's see. All right, where the hell did I leave off right here? I don't have my peeps here tonight, so I'm kind of scrambling. Ira Brownridge says, "Hail Dean Kane!" Absolutely. Arclight says, thanks for the birthday entertainment. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Fear the Tardo says, Tardo, Hope, Jared, Lee, and old Pippa had Merry Crispus. Now that New Clear's Eve approaches, Tardo wonder if have nuclear resolution, lock it in, yay. Good God. Right. Let's see. Bruh for 499 says bruh. Let's see. Yav Gamelin says, "What's your favorite RPG of 2023?" I don't play a lot of RPGs. I will say that
I didn't play one.
I played a little bit of Sea of Stars though, and it was fantastic. Sea of Stars was fantastic. Which is funny is what's his name? The dude that's caught up in the fucking charity scam bullshit. The completionist. They had him in the game and then they removed him from the game after the controversy, which is bitch made. Like, hey man, you had him in the game, just leave him in the fucking game. You know what I mean? Just leave him in the fucking game. So let's see. Where we at? Tomak, I got that one. Indian Ripa says, Ripa, I've been trying to contact you about your extended warranty.
Indian Ripa.
The chat says, Ripa, thanks for representing. Jeremy, good on you for getting your 199 background finally straight. Well, it's because I changed the camera angle, so now you can see the 199. So that's why. Let's see. A feline named JJ says, why does SBI exist in these game studios, spending 15 million plus to make a game? How much could a story writer cost? It's a good question. I don't know the ins and outs of the gaming business that much. So, but I mean, there's a lot of, I know there was some articles like on Bounding into Comics and others talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and their involvement, things like that. But that's why the independent creators creating those independent titles is why it's so important. You can stay away from a lot of that stuff. Enoch Mamon says, don't know if you care, but A Christmas Story. Let's see. A Christmas Story Christmas, the Christmas Story sequel with the original cast on Max, is a worthy sequel. It's a 7 out of 10, but its heart is in the right place. A loving tribute. I have heard good stuff about that. I will say this. Cancel Yellow Flash again for his Christmas tier movie list. That was awful. Did you see that, Ripa? His Christmas movie tier list? He put Muppets Christmas Carol in the terrible list. No. And Home Alone 2 in the terrible list. The hell's wrong with you, Yellow Flash? Unacceptable. Muppets Christmas Carol is a GOAT Christmas movie. It's a GOAT. And he was getting ratioed so bad, he just turned notifications off. He was getting crushed for it.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
He can't. He's. Oh man, I'm so. And he blamed Raging Rhino on Muppets being on the terrible list. I was like, bro, you're there. You control what happens. You should not allow Raging Rhino to poison your tier list with putting Muppets Christmas Carol in the terrible tier for Christmas movies. Get the fuck out of here. Jeez, terrible. I'm never going to let that one go. Jesus Davila for a member or gifted a Geeks Gamers membership. Thank you. Fantastic Person Not says, did you hear Anthony Oliver reached 1 million subs? Also got his YouTube play button for his trouble. I haven't heard about Anthony Oliver since his viral song went nuclear, and then I haven't heard nothing about him since then. So that's cool. Yeah, happy for him. Let's see. Yav Gamelin says Bret Hart is only second to Carlito, Caribbean Cool. I remember Carlito. GJJ says, hail chat. What's up, GJJ? Kenny Justice, awesome to listen to you guys on my birthday. Not much happens because it's Christmas. Can I ask what's a good game to buy for PS4 that's an RPG? Again, man, I'm not a big RPG person these days. I haven't really been outside of like I played a little bit of those back in the day with Super Nintendo, but I am not an RPG person. So I can't, and I don't think Ripa is either. RPG. So
no, I play RPGs. I just have to be action. I'm trying to think, man.
Chat, does chat? Do we have any recommendations for a good RPG on PS4?
Like
a lot of people are saying Persona 5. A lot of people are saying Persona 5.
Well, I mean, if you want to go like for PS4, I mean, what was I playing on PS4? I mean, pick one of the From Software Souls games, you'll be fine. If you want to challenge.
Oh yeah.
Just go that route.
Shout out to Drunk 3PO.
Dark Souls, Demon Souls, whatever.
Dude, when we had Jay playing Dark Souls with Mark the Cyborg kind of like leading him, it's seriously, we have to recreate that again. That's some of the best content ever. Like Mark the Cyborg
make
trying
Mark
to talk.
Cyborg have a fucking aneurysm.
You know what? I'm gonna try to make that happen again. I really need that to happen again, dude. Like it was so bad to watch Mark so frustrated. Watching Jay kind of shout out to Drunk 3PO, by the way. And Jay's going back to our conversation earlier. Jay's a classic example of this. Jay is part of Geeks and Gamers. All right, he's on streams with thousands of people watching. Jay was going on to any live stream that would have him. Didn't matter if you had 5 viewers. He was going on there to promote Acromatic Chronicles Blue. You know what I mean? Like that's what you got to do. It ain't like he was sitting around going, well, I get thousands of people. I don't need to go on that. He was going on any stream that would have him so that he could promote it. You know what I mean? So that's the name of the game right there. Let's see. Ira Brownridge says, do you think Randy Orton will let Yaira use the RKO or the RKO in Yaira 2? Almost an RK outpost.
Yeah, right. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I call it a fucking diamond cutter if I ever do it. That's what it is. Damn it.
Josh says, yeah, I heard that. But Josh says, belated Merry Christmas and here's to a Happy New Year. Thank you. Diamond Cutter's such a good finishing move, man. Like, I don't like finishing. Like, I like finishing moves like the Diamond Cutter and like the Stone Cold Stunner, where it can happen in an instant. But I hate the ones that take setup. Like I hate. Like, as much as I like CM Punk as a wrestler and all that, I hate his finisher, which is the go to sleep, where he puts them on his shoulders and he throws them off and gives them the knee to the face. Yeah. I don't like finishers that require that. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, there are certain finishers, like if you like in big moments, like for instance, a tombstone, you know, like in those big Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches, they're the classic. Shawn Michaels do like a backflip and Taker will catch him upside down and just tombstone. That's great right there. But like, yeah, pedigree is awesome. I like the pedigree, actually. And the rock bottom is a good one. I really like the rock bottom.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But the pedigree is one that you can do that one quickly too, though. Like, but again, pedigree still falls into that. Like, I do like the pedigree, but that still falls into the setup a little bit, where stunner out of nowhere, RK outpost out of nowhere, which Rick is right. It is the diamond cutter. It is the diamond cutter.
Yeah, it's the diamond cutter, man.
It is the diamond cutter. Diamond Sweet Chin Music is another one that you can just, you know, you could do it
to anybody.
And that's the thing is you need a finisher that you can do on anybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that CM Punk would never be able to put the
he can't possibly pick them up and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's true.
So there's no way. I will say I'll give Goldberg a pass on, like, even though because he got the spear, but then he did the suplex. But
he was a strong fucking dude. I mean, he fucking jackhammered fucking some big
dude. He's Big Show.
Yeah, he did the giant when he was a giant back in WCW, and he like stood him up.
Yeah,
he stood him up. Like, he was like, it wasn't one of some of those bigger guys. You tell he would kind of go into the suplex and spin, you know, because he'd have to get it out the way because he couldn't hold him up. He stood giant, like up, straight up. He was up straight with his legs straight. He did the jackhammer. That shit was nuts.
He did. You know, I compare Goldberg to like somebody like almost like it's a little weird, but like it's I compare him to kind of like a Randy Moss, where it's like he had so much talent. You know, like this dude was doing backflips in the ring.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
like, this motherfucker, Goldberg.
He's an athlete, man. He's like an
really was
athlete.
like
he's a true athlete.
If he would have, I'm not saying he didn't put the work in, but like if he would have learned to be a more safer
like a
wrestler,
yeah, like an actual wrestler.
He had everything, man. He really did. He was incredible.
He was a hell of an athlete, man.
Yeah, it was dude. Like I said, man, you'll never understand how wrestling was back in the day if you weren't there. But like, I was working at a grocery store in Panama City Beach, and this is at the height of the Monday Night Wars. And dude, and we had like, because it was on the beach, so we kind of like had like clothing in the store a little bit. Like we got wrestling shirts, bro. We got like Goldberg shirts and NWO shirts and Crow Sting shirts, and I'm like, what the hell, bro? We're selling shirts. It's amazing. Oh, I was so happy. I was like, I'm going to be working this section today just so I can hang out and look at the shirts.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah, my first wrestling shirt was for sure in Austin 316.
Hell yeah.
Shirt back.
Yep.
I mean, he was just so fucking massive, man. Like,
yep.
God, it was like I was obviously still in school when all this was going down. So I mean, just the dumb shit we used to do to each other, just because fucking definitely when the Hardy Boys came in, I remember fucking doing some really dumb shit to my friends, man, trying to fucking like hurt them, you know. And I was like fucking like
dude,
jumping off of shit,
the dumb shit we did as kids, trying to pretend to be wrestlers, man. It's insane that we're not dead or in the
I should have broken my fucking neck a few times for sure.
Dude,
100 fucking percent.
We used to get like a mattress and put it out in the yard and suplex each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like we'd miss, you know.
Oh,
it was
dude,
not good
all the time, dude. Like, dude, I don't know how I didn't break any bones fucking trying to do some of the dumb shit I used to try to do to my friends, man. Again, I blame mainly fucking Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
One-time bomb, like, danger. That's a dangerous ass fucking move to be trying to do to someone off the fucking couch, bro. Like, that's fucking.
Well, I mean, I did promote wrestling shows, right? Like in IRL, like for real.
Oh, word?
Like, yeah. This is back in late 90s, probably, maybe early 2000s. So I was working, I was an overnight manager at a grocery store, and I was the assistant, and the grocery manager was a local professional wrestler. And we just would talk wrestling all the time. That's all we do. We just talk wrestling. And he was like, dude, he's like, you know your shit with wrestling. I'm like, well, yeah, man, I've been watching it since I was old enough to realize what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I love professional wrestling. And he goes, you know, you kind of got a good eye for it and everything. He's like, you want to work with me on my next show? I'm like, no, I've never thought about doing anything like that. He goes, no, seriously, man. Like, we put in half the money. I got the connections. I've got a ring. We'll put in half the money. We'll promote it. I know the wrestlers. And he's like, we got tag team belts and everything. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And so the more he talked about it, I was like, hell yeah, I want to promote this. So
yeah,
I want to be behind the scenes. And but the plan was for me to be, at first it was that I was going to be behind the scenes, just, you know, planning things out, but they convinced me to be a character, which I was 100% against at first. And I was like, all right, I was like, you're an asshole. You be an asshole. So I basically was Commissioner Jeremy Cash. This is my title.
Commissioner Jeremy Cash.
Commissioner Jeremy Cash. And
like
so this was in like in the panhandle of Florida. We rent out a National Guard armory, and we had about 250 people show up to our show. My friend opened the show. They knew him. He comes out there and he cuts a promo, and he's like got his tag team championships, and he's like, great to be back here, yada blah 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 blah. And the plan was for my music to hit, and I had my girlfriend at the time with me, and I had her dress up like a slut, and I was basically making her be the dumb bimbo with me. So when we come out, I've told this story before. There's a clip, I think, on Geeks and Gamers, one of the fucking channels we have. But anyway, so my whole thing was, I told her, I'm like, you dress up like a dumb slut. All right. You act stupid. You smile. You look hot. And I'm going to treat you like crap because they're supposed to hate me. I'm trying to get heat.
I love it.
So
I fucking love it.
So he's out there cutting a promo. All right. In the ring. People are cheering. Dude, I'm like early 20s. I'm scrawny as nothing. Like, I'm 6 foot, 170 pounds, probably. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm nothing. I'm pathetic looking. Just as I am today. I'm just I got a few more pounds on me now than I did then. But anyway, so my music hits. My music was Papa Roach, Last Resort. Cut my life into pieces.
Yeah.
Music hits. And everybody's like, oh, shit, who's this? And my skinny, goofy ass walks out with a shirt and tie. And they're like, what the fuck? And I got my girlfriend with me, and she's trying to hold my arm. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. And I walk out. pointing to people, talking shit.
Yeah, tell
I
them to
get
go
in the
fuck
ring.
themselves and all that shit. You gotta work it. Yeah.
Yes, I get in the ring. And I already knew what I was going to do. I talked to the ring announcer because before the show, the ring announcer wanted to propose to his girlfriend, like IRL proposal. And I was like, can I go after you on? Can I use this as part of my promo? He goes, 100%. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, dude, you can use it as your promo. So, and I already knew there was a Bret Hart line that I was going to steal. So this is in Milton, Florida. No, Chipley, Florida. This is in Chipley, Florida. So I went in the ring. I got the microphone. Half of them are booing me. The other half are laughing at me. They're like, who is this fucking twig? And I point to
was this like late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
So they were calling you something else.
Oh, yes, they were. So I get in the ring and I'm letting my presence be known, and I tell my girl, I'm like, you sit in the corner, you shut the hell up. And then she goes over to the corner, like all kind of like shy and everything and like scared. And I look at the ring announcer and I was like, before I get to all of you losers here in the audience, let me talk to you. And I point to the ring announcer and I said, before you get in my ring and propose to some $2 bimbo, you need to make sure I wasn't with her last night. And the crowd's like, fuck you. And they're booing me. And Bret Hart, when he went heel, Bret Hart had this line, and I'll never forget. I think it was in Pittsburgh. I believe it was in Pittsburgh. And this is when he was doing the pro-Canada, anti-America, bit that he was doing. And they're booing me. I said, you people make me sick. You make the entire state of Florida sick. If you were going to give an enema to the state of Florida, you put the hose right here in Chipley. Holy crap, man. Bro, I had so much heat. And then, of course, they had their tag team championships. The guy was cutting the promo on. His partner runs in the... I stripped him of the tag team championship, and that was going to set up for the match later that night. When I stripped him of the tag team championship, his partner came running out there. They ran up to me and I fell down like I'm scared. And then I start doing the slow crawl out of the ring and they grab like back my pants and I'm like, and they picked me up and power bombed me right there in the middle of the ring, man. It was great.
Fucking Commissioner Jeremy Cash, man.
The best part was during the intermission, because intermissions is a local thing. Everybody kind of knows everybody. So all these guys, everybody knows these guys. Like they're friends, their family, whatever. People are there, you know what I mean? And then the wider community. So the intermission, everybody goes out there, mingles, takes some pictures with the kids. They come back there, they're like, Jeremy, you can't go out there. I'm like, why? They're like, there's some people that are pissed because you called them inbred rednecks. And because I called them inbred rednecks during my promo. And I was like, they can't really, like, they understand this is part of the show. And they're like, dude, this is great. We love the fact that you're getting heat like this. I'm like, but they're really mad at me though. Like they want to fight me. He goes, there's a couple of country boys out there that are pissed. And I'm like, okay. So I couldn't go out there. After the show, we're breaking the ring down. I swear to God, this happens. We're breaking the ring down. This fucking 6'3" country boy comes up. Hey, motherfucker, my daddy grew up here. I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, it's literally a show.
Hilarious. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's I didn't even know that. I had no idea about this lore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
This is true lore. I never knew anything about fucking Jeremy Cash.
Jeremy Cash. Yeah. It was crazy, man. And there was one video of it. I don't know if the video still exists. This was like VHS type shit. You know what I mean? So like there was a video of some of the interactions. I saw the video one time, like a week after the event, but I had never had it in my possession. I might have a couple of pictures I can find to show people. I'd have to search maybe in chat over the time. Cause I've told this story multiple times, but like chat, have I ever shown any of the pictures? Cause I was wearing a blue button-up shirt, gray pants, but I don't know if I've ever shown any of the pictures, but I will see if I can find pictures. But yeah, there you go.
Fucking sick, man. Hell, I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh man,
Jeremy Cash.
Jeremy Cash. Yeah, man, it was wild.
That's good. That's
It was
fucking good. I
wild.
fucking love that shit, man.
Yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
but what was funny is so before the event or before this thing started, earlier in the day, and this is what reminded me to say this, but earlier in the day, the guys were like, we were talking, they were like, all right, so, and the terminology is bumps, taking bumps, you know, like when you get thrown down or whatever. And they're like, hey, Jeremy, you need to take some bumps. I'm like, bro, I've been watching wrestling my whole life. I know how to fucking take bumps. He goes, oh, really? Yeah. All right, well, come on. And he powerbombed the fuck out of me and almost fucking broke my arm because I didn't fall. There's a certain method.
Yeah,
like
yes,
he's like, and then he's like, you gonna shut the fuck up and listen? Yeah, let me recover. And so he taught me, like, when you go, he's like, when I lift you up, he's like, you know, you got to put your arms out, you know, and straighten your back. And he's like, in the way that I'm going to position your body, you know, to brace for impact. And it did it, and it didn't hurt almost at all. You know what I mean? Because I fell the right way. And that kind of goes back to the Goldberg Bret Hart situation of like learning to not hurt the people and learning how to fall, learning how to take bumps, all of that, man. And that's what Bret Hart was perfect at it. He was perfect. But yeah, Commissioner Jeremy Cash. There we go.
Commissioner Jeremy Cash.
Went off on a fucking tangent there.
I fucking love it. No, that was my first time. I never fucking knew about this. This is my first time ever hearing this fucking story.
Yeah, man. It's wild.
Jeremy Cash. That's fucking wild, though.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of fun with it. And I got a lot of good reviews on doing. I did a couple other shows, but I had some other stuff come up, like personal stuff, personal life issues that happened that kind of really derailed me from that aspect of my life at the time. And but I had a lot of fun with the few that I did, and I thought about doing more with it because people were like, well, if you put on at least just a little bit of weight, if you kind of work out a little more and put on another 20 or 30 pounds, you could have like a really kind of not to get in the ring to fight, but just like having some type of presence like in the ring. Because like I said, I was skinny as hell back then, man, like skinny as hell. And so but it just I never you know, looked into it. Let's see here. All right. Magnum Norris for 20 says, happy to see Tuesday night's main event still cracking tonight. I think 2024 will be a good year. The chickens are finally coming home to roost, and the screeching shall be glorious. I'm turning 40 and 24, and I'm ready to boss the fuck up. Hail. That's what's up. That's what's up right there. Dragon Dan says, I like that you name dropped Geekdom a few times lately. I've been watching him for 6 years now. I don't know wrestling, but would love to see him on the main channel. Yeah, I like Geekdom. Geekdom's good people. I don't know him, but we've always kind of had common interests and stuff like that. But with the wrestling stuff, I would definitely I would lean on him, especially for the stuff like there's this massive gap of wrestling that I don't know. Like in terms of the most recent stuff for the last 10 years, probably. Let's see. Neanderthal for 50 and says nothing.
I respect it.
Hell yeah. Grim says, Merry Christmas to the host in the chat. 2024 will be the biggest year yet for the Rippaverse and Geeks and Gamers. Hard work pays off. Hail the 199. Hell yes. Tonberry Masta with his 50. He always drops a 50 on Tuesday night's main event. The thing that people don't give Rippa enough credit for is the hustle. I already have 3 Rippaverse books, and that is faster than anybody in Comics Gay right now. Even when it comes to shipping, Rippaverse comes FedEx, and everyone else is ground. Hell yeah, man. I mean,
well, no, I mean, look, I put a lot of time, money, effort, and just there's a lot of trial, a lot of error, figuring out kind of what this was looking like. And I did a post actually, like right before we went live, kind of talking about this, and you know, especially in the economies that we've been in, like the uncertainty post 2020, which is when I launched. Right, it's, you know, people are parting ways with their money, right, and it's something that I take very seriously. I take that very. It's like the Rippaverse is not like some thing that's just there to enrich me, right? Like I haven't taken really a salary from the Rippaverse at all. Like it's just all my net worth is baked into the Rippaverse itself as a company, which I'm okay with that. But I take it very, very serious. So that's why you're able to get the books as quick as they have. You know, I hustle, I work all the damn time, and you know, whether it be creatively or just with the business stuff. But it's because I take it serious. You know, you guys are out there going to, you know, you're investing in it as customers. And that's something that I don't take lightly. It's not, I'm not going to just sit on your money and just kind of like, oh, you'll get a book when I feel like you get it. It's not a situation like that. If you're jumping out there and getting in on Rippaverse this early, you deserve to get your stuff in a timely manner. And I work very, very hard to the team. This is a team effort. Works very, very hard to make that happen.
Hell yeah, man! It's awesome to see, and it's just the beginning, baby. Just the beginning. Mark of Reality says, awesome show, guys. Teach folks to stop listening to the haters and keep moving forward with their plan. That's what you got to do, man.
Gotta do it.
That's what you got to do. Let's see. Derez, how do I say this? He's the one that trolled me the other day in my chat too. So let's see. Derezatron says, people acting like Rippa just sprout out of the ground. Bitch, he's been out here grinding for years. Some of us been watching when he was still repping Marvel and DC merch back when dinosaurs roamed. Dude, that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was
an eternity ago. Man, it's when I was watching some old like it was like, you know, you get those on social media, you get those, hey, look at this post that you posted fucking 10 years ago, right? And you know, I was in my old band, like in Fire from the Gods, I was performing. That was like, it was at a festival, big festival, and I had this like fucking Thor shirt on and shit. Like, I was like, man, that'll never happen again. Things have changed, man. Things have changed.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it's been awesome to see, man. It's been awesome to see.
Yeah.
Mike Hill says, do you still think Disney and Marvel will fire Vin Diesel next after his allegations? It's hard to tell, man, because really what it comes down to is it's just like anything else in life, man. With these companies, I said it, Derezatron, I said it right. Hell yeah, thanks, man. And yeah, he's the one that trolled me last night when he was like, I was playing Fortnite, and he's like, YouTube just responded, Jeremy. They said if you just change the host, they'll remonetize the channel. And I was like, wait, what? And I thought he meant like the YouTube AdSense and stuff. And he's like, he's just trolling me, like, you change the host, and I fell for it. And then I died. But it was funny. But yes, so back to the Vin Diesel thing, like, it's like anything else. Like, it's really not about the allegations. It's about the level of bad PR that the allegations bring. It's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? And then, you know, if it actually goes to court and everything like that. So I don't know, man. I think it's 13 years is how long ago this happened. It's just whatever. I don't know, man. I don't put no stock into it. So, but I guess we'll see. Joker's Disciple says, damn it just jumped on me. God dang it. I hate when it does that, bro. Oh my God, you guys have been super chatting a lot tonight. Joker Cyber says, just got the curtain call achievement in Batman Arkham Knight. If you know, you know. Also got my 9.9 cover C of Alpha Core. Hail the Rippaverse.
A lot of those floating around, man. Shout out. Hell yeah.
Or Curtain Falls. I'm sorry. I was thinking Curtain Call because I was thinking about the wrestling thing. Sorry. The Curtain Falls achievements in Batman Arkham Knight. If you know, you know. And hail the Rippaverse. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man. Jade Scott for 20 says, Rippa, can you recommend a printing company that works well within your ISOM style of campaign, but for novels, i.e. I want my book to be completed before campaign, no gatekeeping for conservative views and good profit.
Ooh, printer. Okay, so man, it's because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna have access to my printers. Because of they do a lot of the yearbook stuff, and like because of our volume, that's the only reason that they accept our project, and this is why they do a good job. And there was another one that I would have recommended for you, but this piece of shit. All right, this is gonna be a Geeks and Gamers special because I've never told this story publicly.
There we go.
So
I've been his friend. I've been his friend all these years just for this moment to get one exclusive auto.
So there's some negotiations. Let's just say that look, this is the game. The game is all about negotiations, right? So a lot of most printers or people that go get their stuff printed, they use what are called brokers, right? And I hate the shit, right? So it's basically you're talking to a middleman that's getting paid to seal the deal so you can get your you can get your books. So there was one, the print job was solid, but that's because of the print company that they used. And I remember, not too long ago, I called the printer themselves. It was like, hey, we're growing. We got all these aspirations, yada, yada. And, again, it's all about negotiation. Let's talk. Does this make sense? And, I had a respectful, call with one of the executives over at the print company and all that. And I get a call back from the broker, and the broker calls me and tries to start charging me to fuck up because I guess he thinks that I'm going over his head by going straight to the source of the fucking printer. And he was like, yeah. You don't ever do that shit. You don't, you go through me. And obviously I cussed this bitch ass out, right? And I told him to get the fuck off my phone, don't call me again type shit, and hung up. So I would recommend the printer, but I'm not because that guy's an asshole there. But I will say this, depending where you are locally, I can almost guarantee you in your state, there is a local printer that does books. And usually it's going to be like something random, like the books that they prioritize. It'll be like textbooks for school and shit. Hit them up. They're always looking for jobs. Hit them up. They'll give you samples. They'll do all of that stuff. And generally, these printers don't have the best web presence at all. Like, these guys have no idea what it is they're doing. But give them a call. They'll give you samples, and you can get some really solid ones. Those are the best. Yeah, there's some big like international printers, but those the best ones are going to be local. You'll have more care, and you'll get a more quality print. So just Google what state that you're in and printers, and I promise you can probably find one in states that's good. You don't have to go Chinese, do any of that shit. And they'll give you a good deal on it. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Well said. Look at there. You got all that out of Ripper.
Yeah, you got all that out of that super chat. You got an exclusive and everything.
That's right. That's what's up.
And I hope that asshole broker is watching this.
That's awesome.
I was so fucking that was my first time like in business with the Rippaverse, where I had someone like thought that they could just throw their fucking weight around at me and just talk to me any kind of way. I was like, what the fuck? It's funny. I was at Sprouts, like I'm getting groceries and shit. This motherfucker calling me trying to, fire my ass up, and I was like, man, wait. As soon as I get outside, I'm about to cuss your bitch ass out, man. And that's exactly what I did. I hung up on his ass.
Let's see. Junior says that the Iron Claw was great. The second half of the movie is brutal, but awesome to see old Texas wrestling in it. Hell yeah, it really is good. Beetlejuice says Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, except for Kwanzaa says Mike's Hangout says Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you very much for the YouTube advice. I'm actually trying to get my own channel started, so thank you very much for the advice. Hail the 199.
Shout out.
Thank you. Sophie says, hail boys, tell Rippa Jesus died for our sins. I think he's aware of that one.
I'm aware.
Sophie was trying to send those gifted memberships too on the Cobra 199 channel. That's right around the time everything happened. Not just for hers, from Sophie's, but from everybody's. So let's see. Angmar WK says gifted one Geeks and Gamers membership. Thank you. Al says for 20 says, well, I want to hope y'all and everyone in the community had a good holiday. Looking forward to meeting y'all at MegaCon. As someone who has to grind for their money, I want to say I respect the hell out of y'all for the grind you do. Well, thank you so much.
Shout out, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Man, looking forward to meeting you too. It's going to be awesome. Sophie, you got your refund? Awesome. Okay. I'm glad everybody got their refund. So like I said, we'll get that worked out. And listen, I'm just going to, I was not planning on trying to push that channel very much. I was going to mention it on a few streams, but I was like, I just want to see what the channel can do from an organic standpoint for the most part. Like, and that's why I told people, like, if you're not into video games or wrestling, like if you're not watching for me to play Fortnite a lot, and that's why, like, I didn't want to do it on Play, because I just want to play Fortnite all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And I don't think just doing that on the Play channel is the best way to do it over there. But again, I might fire up the finals. I might fire up, like I said, people have been asking me, like, hey, we want to see you play Warzone, since I play so much of the Battle Royale Fortnite. And as much as I have issues with, like I said, we were talking about this the other day on Daily when Ryan was like, well, with Call of Duty, I've actually liked a lot of the recent Call of Duties. I just got pissed off when they did the whole thing with what the hell's his name? Nick Merckx. And I haven't played it since. I haven't played any of them since. But that's what that channel's there for. But I wasn't going to push it that much, but now I'm just going to fully capitalize off of this whole nonsense with YouTube hitting the channel. And again, it's just a bot. It's just AI. It will get itself worked out.
Yeah,
but it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. So, Read by Nature says, callback. But can you play Mega Drive Rambo? That's old school. You know what I want to play? And I owned I don't know how many people actually owned a 3DO, but I owned a Panasonic 3DO when I was a kid, and Demolition Man on the 3DO is the coolest thing ever. And I would love to stream that. Like, I will legit, if I can stream a 3DO directly, I want to stream it directly from the 3DO, stream that on my Cobra 199 channel. I'll go buy a damn Panasonic 3DO tomorrow. There's one at a retro shop in Pensacola that I can get, but I loved the 3DO, bro. I was, and Demolition Man was so fun on there. So I would love to play that one, actually. So we'll see, man. Sky's the limit. And by the way, Ripa, do you use Restream?
Oh, like for like dual streaming?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's
okay.
Hailstorm and Chad have been yelling at me for a while to use Restream. I can't believe how good Restream is. Actually, it's really good, and it doesn't pull on your signal on your side. So it's really good. Because you know me, like I've been having the problems here, like when I stream on Streamlabs, because it puts too much. I guess there's just too much. It pulls too much on Streamlabs to stream multiple destinations. I stream here from Restream, and I can do it on Kick, YouTube, and Rumble. Not a single drop frame at all. Not a single drop frame. It's been really good, and it's just a toggle. So you put all your channels in there, and then whenever you go live, you could toggle on and off to whatever platform you want to stream to, whether it's Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter. All. So
are you popping the stream off from Restream?
So you still put your event on YouTube,
yeah,
and then because you're signed into your YouTube channel, then you click the drop down box and find the event.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you start to plug your stream keys in and all that shit for all the other buttons. But it's a lot easier. But yeah, Restream is really good. Restream is excellent. I'm really happy with it. Lord of the Ring Nerd says, hail the 199 and the Ripaverse. Merry Christmas, everyone. Finally have a literate person reading super chats. A high school dropout, ironically. Hail. I mean, I am the Orange Gunton guy, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Orange Gunton, man.
Aiken says, hail all. Your drive for constant improvement and pursuing goals has me focused now. Losing weight, getting healthy, saving for my dream car. It's great. Look, man, listen.
I love to hear it.
You never know what is going to motivate you. You never know. All right. So I have historically always had I don't know how I've gotten away with being my age and eating the way I've eaten my whole life. Okay. I have a fucking terrible diet. I have no business being in the shape I'm in. But regardless of that, it was a decision. I was at Academy Sports. All right. I was at Academy Sports and I bought this right here. I bought this Yeti. All right. That's all. I bought this Yeti. Okay. Cause I was like, I just wanted something that's going to keep my drink cold. All right. So I bought this Yeti and I put water in it. And every time I drank the water, it was like, oh, it was cold as hell, bro. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep this. Now, Now, interestingly enough, I've actually switched over to a Stanley cup though. I like the Stanley more because it fits in cup holders, and but I like the Stanley one more. But the point being is that once I just made this random decision to buy this Yeti and then switched over to the Stanley, I have knocked out 90% of my soda consumptions. No, 90% of soda I've cut out of my diet now. I've lost like 15, 20 pounds in the past couple of weeks just by stopping drinking soda.
It'll
simple
do it.
decision like that. Simple decision like that. And so all I do now is I drink water all day long, and I've replaced 90% of the soda that I used to drink. And it does. It helps. I mean, because I don't know, man. I've never struggled with weight at all, but I saw like pictures of me at like a meetup one time, and I was like, what the fuck do I look like that? And I'd gotten up to like, again, I'm like almost 6'1", and I'm like, I've always been around 180, 85 pounds, but I've been creeping up to like 200, you know what I mean? And that's just a little uncomfortable for me with my body type and everything. And so but yeah, so it's been good. And I was actually over 200. I was like at 205, 210, I think. And that's just a little, like, I want to be around 180, 185 consistently. That's a good body weight for me. But anyway, just drink water, man. Just drink water. That's all you got to do.
It'll help it. Cut out the sugar. It'll help you.
It's easy. It's easy. But I'm happy to hear that, Aiken. Happy to hear that. Mount Mutt says, yo, Eric, got my 9.8 cover. D think is beautiful. Thank you, bro.
Shout out. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate
Hell yeah. Neo Nimbus says, how many NDAs are you up to now, Ripper?
I'm buried in them, man. I'm up to my eyeballs. Up to my eyeballs in NDAs, man. So much shit we got that we sitting on, bros. So yeah.
Greg78 says the best Nintendo NES video games of all time. If we're talking about the NES,
Super Mario World, man. I mean, if we're talking,
no, that's
Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
NES,
Super Mario 3. Super Mario 3 is amazing. Super Mario, I like Super Mario 2 as well on the NES.
I'd probably take 2 over fucking 3, man.
But the greatest sports game ever made is on that system, and that is Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl. Or Tecmo, yeah, they're both on there. So Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl are both on the NES. I was gonna say Donkey Kong Country, but that's Super Nintendo. Zelda, the original Zelda, is on NES. So we're talking about the original, the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Contra is another one that's and the OG Metroid. So if you want me to do a top 5 NES games off the top of my head, I'm going to go number 1 is Super Mario 3. I don't know if I can place the rest of them.
What Ninja Turtles on?
Yes, the arcade game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game was on there, and the side scroller Ninja Turtles game, the one that you had the really hard one. That one was really difficult. So you would start with the overview of it, and then you would walk into the sewer, and then it would go to 2D. That game was fucking hard. All right, that was a hard game. But the Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, which was like coming from the arcade where you could play multiplayer, was on the NES as well. Yep. So I'm just gonna put Super Mario 3 as number 1. The rest of them I don't have them placed, but off the top of my head, the original Metroid is up there. I love the original Metroid. RC Pro-Am for the uninitiated. If you didn't play RC Pro-Am, RC Pro-Am was an incredible racing game.
I said Double Dragon. I forgot about that.
Oh, Double Dragon.
But what, Mega Man 4 on NES?
I remember. Mega Man 3 was definitely on the NES.
Yeah, I know all that. But I think 4 was the best one. I'm pretty sure. Chat can correct. I'm pretty sure 4 was on NES.
Yeah, I think 4 was on the NES as well. Let's see. Oh, the Batman on the NES was fantastic. It gets a lot of people overlook that one, but that one was really good. I've got to put Contra on any top 5 list though. Contra, 100%. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Peking just said it. Peking, who fucking hates me and hates everybody on this team, but he just made a good point in the chat. So even if you hate us, Peking, and I know you do, he just made a good point. So shout out. Even if you hate us, you still made a good point. Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, a game I've never defeated, sadly enough. So Battletoads, yeah, Battletoads. Yes,
Yeah,
Mega Man 4 was on the NES.
That's pretty easy. Yeah.
Blades of Steel. Did you ever play Blades of Steel?
Play Blades of Steel. What was that other hockey game? Wasn't it just called hockey?
Yes, yeah, it was just hockey.
Like
and then there
ice
was
hockey or
golf.
some
Yeah,
shit?
it was like ice hockey, and there was golf.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
baseball.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like,
Yeah.
it's ice hockey,
Yeah.
it's golf, baseball. Yeah, I remember 10-yard dash as well. There was a 10-yard dash was a football game.
Wasn't that some like skater fucking
Skate or Die.
Was that it?
Skate or Die, and then there was TNC Surf Design. You remember TNC Surf?
Yes.
TNC Surf Design was so great. Yeah, Skate or Die.
Oh, Jordan versus Bird. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I had it on Sega Genesis. That was on my Genesis. One of my favorite games.
What man, it's
I have that shit here somewhere. It might be in this bitch. Let's see.
You will, yes. Punch Out was on the NES. Yes, Mike Tyson's Punch Out was on the NES. Jeremy Peterson. Paper Boy. Hell yes.
Got to be a jam, but not fucking
River City Ransom. Hell yeah.
Dick Tracy.
Dick
Never
Tracy.
beat that fucking game. Yeah.
720. That's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of 720.
Okay.
That's what you're thinking of. Yeah. Somebody said it in the chat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And of course, let's not forget the greatest baseball game ever made, where you had Dark Side Droids, Baseball Stars. Baseball Stars is so good, dude. So good. But like, we're never going to be able, and I don't know how to describe it, but like as a kid, there was something mythical about video games because we didn't have access to them. You know what I mean?
Like that era of video games through the 90s and early 2000s, it'll never be replicated. It's bigger now for sure, but it does feel, having lived through that era, it feels a lot different, man. Because of the access, it was just different. Like it was almost like getting the game itself was an experience.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Whether it be going to Toys R Us or if you were renting them from Blockbuster or shit. I remember my fucking Albertsons fucking had a spot to rent fucking games and shit, man. It was Funko Land and shit and EB Games and fucking like
it was amazing, man.
It was just it was an actual experience to go buy or rent a game. And I think that'll never, even though yes, gaming is bigger, there's a lot more money in it now, but it's that experience. You had to be there. It's like we were talking about was it last week we were talking about arcades?
Yeah.
And shit. Like you just had to be there. It'll never be replicated again. Just the interactivity that we have just completely has changed everything. But it wasn't, we didn't have that, coming up. It's like, it wasn't like just as simple as, I'm gonna turn the game on, go fucking download the bitch, and I got it. That was not a thing when we came up.
Well, that's what I want to recreate with. I want to rebuild our website, and I've been talking about it for a long time, but like I want to recreate something that resembles video game magazines back in the day with what we're doing on the site, along with the current, times that we're in. But like there was something special about reading Electronic Gaming and Game Pro, you know what I mean? And Game Informer.
Game Informer and shit, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it basically like you were opening up this world that
those covers
you
were
didn't
so
have access.
sick,
They were
man.
so
Like,
good, dude.
Man, those are the days, man.
Yeah.
I just got like nostalgia fucking like really fucking bad. Just remembering all those all the fucking magazines, man. Fuck.
Opening those up and read it, like those articles meant something, Nintendo Power, of course.
Reviews. That was how you got reviews for fucking the shit, it wasn't like YouTube and shit. It was fucking it was buried in a magazine, man.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep, absolutely. So that I want to figure out how to I want to try to recreate that. And I've talked to Stuttering Craig a little bit about this too, because it's not something unless you were there, you don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't know.
You had to be there.
You had to be there and you had to experience. So there's reading those magazines, opening those pages up, and not rushing through it, by the way, because they gave you a reason to not
It was
rush
so
through
much
it.
information in those
Yeah.
goddamn
You never
new
want to rush
games. That's how
through
you
it.
found about new games, like new
Yeah.
games that were on the horizon that were being in, you know, that were either being developed or were, you know, about to be released soon. Again, it wasn't like it wasn't. You just went on the internet and just look. It wasn't like that. It was like, oh, the new. You know, back when Madden definitely was fucking good, and you know, it's like, oh shit, you know, how's that coming along? What's gonna be the new features? And the shit was in a fucking magazine. You know what I mean? That's how you got that information. It's crazy, man.
We'll see it because it's like with us, like where we're at now. What we need is because a lot of the publications, like they are so reliant upon their ad revenue and all of that. Like I want to be able to do this on the website where we have people like, for instance, Tomoc's always telling me about independent games that are out there that I'd never even heard of. Like we need people on our website that are like writing about independent projects, whether it's in gaming, whether it's in comics, whether it's in movies, that aren't on the pulse of the mainstream.
That's how
sites
you
and all of that
replicate it.
stuff.
That's the
Yes.
closest you're gonna get to replicating it, because
Yes.
those are gonna be under the radar, right?
Yes.
So that's the only that's the thing that you can do. That might be not a bad idea. I mean, we floated out the idea of doing a magazine, not to necessarily that degree. It'll be more like Rippaverse stuff. But we floated out that idea as well, because you know that was big in comics with the Wizard magazine shit as well. That was pretty big when we were coming up. So it's like, fuck, dude. It was yeah, you had to be there, bros. It's just gaming was a completely different experience back then. It was just not it's hard to explain, but everybody that like actually lived through that era of even console gaming back then, as well as arcades, you just had to fucking be there, dude. You had to be there.
Greg, you got all of that out of a member message. Good job, brother. Good job. Matthew Hammond says, how is Rippa going to train future comic book writers, artists to work alongside the greats? He has brought on to continue excellence for the long term. So, okay, let me see it. How is Rippa going to train future comic book writers / artists to work alongside the greats? He has brought on to continue excellence for the long term.
Well, a lot of it has to do with making sure everybody's on the same page. So all of our writers here are on the same page with our artists as well. But also we kind of have a workflow that I think really assists with that. To make sure that everybody knows that everybody's wants and everybody's like in the know of what's happening in the individual projects. But also, you know, our team has grown to assist with, you know, making sure that there are growth opportunities, especially like our artists, right? You know, having Kanan White as an example, one of our latest big hires and our art director, man, his impact has been crazy, bros. Like you guys are gonna see it going into Yaira, and just the I mean, it's going to be hard for you guys to see it because you didn't, it's no before and after, right? For you guys. But holy shit, man. His introduction, you know, this has been massive. So bringing in good people that know what they're doing is going to be very important, but also communication. Communication is, and I think we got that down pat.
Hell yeah. I see Carolyn in the chat. What's up, Carolyn? I saw the Saska sisters in the chat earlier. Shout out to them. So good to see. Good to see y'all in the chat. Dustin the Grim says, let's see. Bud Root is probably best known for his Cave Woman series, a science fiction fantasy comic with the main character going back in time to face dinosaurs. Has some great art and worth checking out. So
yeah, this is my first time. I can try to find it, but yeah, that was my first time hearing of that artist. I'm sorry.
We finally got somebody joining us. He's going to be here next week too. He hasn't been on the channel a long time. Yeah, I wish we had somebody talk gaming. It's Mark the Cyborg.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Ooh, your mic is hot.
It's hot.
Oh, okay.
It's picking up on. There we go. That's good. Okay. How you doing, Mark?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
It's been a long time, man.
Sorry, I got your message really late. I messaged you, then waited about 20 minutes, and then X-Ray Girl and I started, you know, spending some quality time together.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Mark messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I can come on," and I was like, "Okay, here's the link," and then he never responded. And I'm like, "Well, maybe he fell asleep." So
I no, well, okay, I didn't exactly fall asleep. I spent some time with my lady. Okay.
Hey, there we go, Mark. Chat's getting
Perfect.
excited now.
Got this thing tilted over. Sorry, this light's hitting the camera.
Nah, you're good, man. So how you been, Mark? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, pretty good. I have some game recommendations I could give for you guys
Hey,
that are like
go
indie games that
Go
are.
for it.
So have you ever actually it was a video, it wasn't a video I did on Geeks and Gamers. It was a video I did on my old channel kind of right before I started making videos for my own channel. It's my same one. But called Valfaris. It was sort of like a Contra type game. Did you ever see that video?
I didn't have heard of it though.
Okay, so I made a video on that one, and this year the same developer, who's this guy Andrew Gilmore, his studio is called Steel Mantis. That I think it's him and one other guy. He was a former developer at Naughty Dog who left to go start just making old school video games that are kind of like heavy metal inspired, that he does like soundtracks for them and stuff, and they kind of look like Warhammer 40K. One of them's kind of a Castlevania type game called Slain, and it takes place in the same world. The way there's sort of Warhammer that's fantasy, and then Warhammer 40K is the sci-fi. So Valfaris is like the 40K and Slain is like the Warhammer. Okay. But every single one of them is a new genre too. So it's got the Castlevania one, Slain, the Contra one, Valfaris, and Mechatherion, which is the sequel to Valfaris, is like an R-type style shooter where it's like side view, but it'll do some weird kind of camera stuff, and it's done with almost like a PlayStation 1 art style, but lots of really cool lighting effects and things like that, and very sort of low poly pixel art graphics. But yeah, games like that are coming out all the time. So if you ever like think like, hey, I remember the NES days when all those great games that were really simple and gameplay focused came out, and it's like, yeah, no, those are the games that are going to be just fine as the AAA industry is kind of imploding right now. Like nothing is going to stop a group of 2 or 3 guys just making a video game.
Well, that's what, like, I don't know if you heard me earlier what I was talking about, because I'd made a comment about in the past I talked about like the Switch and you know, all the software sales that they've had. It's like I don't know, like $1 billion or something, you know, in software sales. And I'd said like, oh, like 90% of that is Nintendo first party titles. That is not true at all, because the Switch, a lot of them are
like the little indie titles.
Yes, the indie titles are huge on the Switch, and people just don't realize how big the indie market is on gaming, whether it's on Steam or the Switch. It's a massive market out there, and there's a lot of great indie titles that fly under the radar, and that's what I was talking about right before you got here, about like some of the things that I want to do with G&G, especially the website, is kind of redo that so we can give a home to where people know, like, we can go here and find out all of these titles that are flying under the radar. You know what I mean? Because there's so many games out there that for every Battle Bit Remastered, man, that you might hear about, there's 100 more games that are made by a small group of people that you would love if you knew about it. You know what I mean? There's just not enough attention on them.
Yeah, and there's lots of different levels of indie game too. I mean, have you guys heard of Ready or Not?
I believe so.
It's sort of a SWAT team simulator that came out, like a tactical law enforcement thing. I guess realistic is a little bit tough, because I mean the AI is a little on the wonky side because it is kind of an indie level game. Though I believe it's Unreal Engine 5. I actually don't even know what engine it's running on, but just looking at it, it kind of looks like a UE5 game, and it's hyper realistic in the sense that you have to approach each situation like an actual law enforcement officer. So you're encouraged to arrest, not kill. And you have rules of engagement too. So even if you see a guy with a gun, if you don't shout at him, say freeze, put your hands up, and you just start shooting, your guy's like, hey, like, remember your rules of engagement? Like, we're not just executing people here, you know? And then you're rated at the end, like a grade from F to A plus, I think is the highest you can get, on how well you did. Like, did you go in there guns blazing and kill everybody, or did you check your corners, tase people, use your team properly, use flashbang grenades and arrest everybody, or even just get the drop on them and say freeze, and sometimes they just kind of look at you and they're like, all right, okay. But then sometimes they'll have their hands up, and you're just about to send someone over to cuff them, and then they draw a pistol, and then you gotta be quick on the draw with the trigger finger too.
Ready or Not is SWAT 5 with co-op. I'd love to see you guys play.
Yeah, I mean, and my goal now is to get through the single player game and then try a co-op, because the thing about having a team in Ready or Not where it's all individual people who need to execute their role on the team could be infuriating.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like a couple shots and you're dead, and you have no way of healing really. The only thing you can do is if you're bleeding out, you can wrap a bandage on yourself that gives you your vision back, but you're still very, very weak. Your chest is armored, but if you get hit in the arms or legs, you start losing the ability to function. Like if you get hit in the legs too much, you can't kick doors anymore. And
nice.
Yeah, you got to be able to kick doors.
So for those that you don't know, most of you should know Mark, but if you don't, Mark, in my opinion, he might be the most knowledgeable gamer I know. He's definitely the most passionate. Mark has forgotten more about games than I'll ever know. Like he's got his finger on the pulse of so many games out there. Have you played the finals?
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, and I've yet to win a match. But I've probably only played about. I mean, I think it's okay.
What would you compare it to?
It's got a boomer shooter's style of mobility. There's a lot of jumping, moving around, and sliding around, but it's got Battlefield's destructibility, which I don't know that really clicks with me in a multiplayer environment very well. It's really fun actually in RoboCop. The RoboCop Rogue City game has a lot of really destructible environments, and I think they're really cool to add spice to an action scene in a game. But when you don't have solid cover that you can count on because they can just use a rocket launcher to blow a hole in that wall and then run into the room, I have trouble wrapping my head around how to properly account for that. So I don't think I'm really well suited for it, but Disparu loves it. It's like his favorite shooter in existence right now.
Disparu's been talking about
it. I think is playing it as well.
I'm going to play it sometime this week and check it out, but I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it. So Hayden Wayne for 50 says, wait, Geeks and Gamers finally hitting their gamer arc? Let's go. Laughing my ass off. Just kidding. What's up, dude? What's up, Hayden? Hayden, you single-handedly turned Main Event into a gaming show about 2 months ago now, and it's been a good kind of shift for us, and so it's been a lot of fun. I have got to run through some super chats here. Mark, do you want to be on next week for a full-on show?
Yeah, sure. I'm on my Christmas leave right now, so
okay,
that'll work.
We're gonna have Mark the Cyborg on, and we'll have the full panel next week as well. So Magnum Norris for 50 says, I used to throw wrestling matches on my trampoline and launched one of my friends into the window.
Oh shit.
Well, which was like 4 feet underground and not large enough for him. I thought he was dead. Good times. Favorite wrestler is
man, I got a lot of trampoline fucking stories, man. The dumb shit that we used to do, and I know for sure my chest to this day I think is caved in because of fucking some very awkward lands that I had.
Dude,
on the fucking trampoline trying to do stupid shit.
Is this a trampoline at home?
Yeah,
like trampoline, or one of my friends actually. That's where we would be. He had a massive ass trampoline in his backyard on Hispanic buddies, and we go out there and fucking be doing all kinds of trying to flip off the bitch and doing just stupid shit, man.
I sometimes see them around the area that we live now, like in residential areas, because every so often there'll be a corner lot where you can see the backyard, and all the trampolines now have big nets around them.
What's a net?
I know. Because look, we're I think roughly the same age. I think you might be a bit younger than I am, but I mean, like if you had a backyard trampoline, it was not sunk into the ground. You didn't dig it in. Nope. It's just on a riser.
Like
and if you fall
off the fucking ground, man. You 5 feet off the ground, you launch yourself off of that, man.
and it didn't have like even the padding around the springs.
It was like that
those
little
were
thing of
exposed
blue,
too.
like little blue rubber mats just kind of around.
We used to, my friends they would all get on the trampoline. It was one person would be on the ground and they would throw the football up for the Hail Mary. And we would all have to time our jump. And then whoever would jump the highest would catch it. But as soon as you came down, you were getting the shit knocked out of you. And somebody was always flying off the trampoline. I don't know how we weren't dead. I have no idea.
Kill myself
there was times where I literally got launched off of the trampoline and landed like on my back or my shoulder. I don't know how I'm not dead. I have no idea. I don't know what the hell was wrong with my parents or any of the parents to allow
I don't
this.
even know where our parents were at. Like, and then I'm thinking about it. Like, we used to, like, again, these trampolines were like fucking pretty high off the ground, right? It was massive and
like 4 feet or something like that. Which
like
4 feet from the ground, in addition to the height of your jump, is a lot.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
sound like much,
man. Because you jumping and we're trying to jump the highest and shit. So there'll be times you kind of misplace your jump, and then next thing you know, you actually flying off it. So you're like 10 feet in the fucking air, about to drop another 15. Like, it's like, I don't know how to break my damn legs, man. I never had it. I did fuck my chest up. That I do remember, because I tried to do a flip and didn't time it right, and I was trying to flip off of it, and my chest, it wasn't no rubber thing. It was ours was like just a fucking metal round joint, and I landed right on that bitch, man. I do not know how the fuck I lived, man. We were some crazy ass kids, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, and maybe that's why we're like built kind of, because that's not an experience. Even kids even go outside anymore like these days, like
not
like
really.
That. Like when we would just go on fucking journeys, man. We all get on our bikes and fucking go do
It was literally like that's one of the first season of Stranger Things really does connect with like me and a lot of people in my generation, because that's what kids did. Like we were always on our bikes exploring. Exploring and finding dumb shit, crazy stuff. I can't tell you how many stories like
Stand By Me too. Like any Amblin movie from the late 80s or early 90s. Like,
100%.
It's all the same vibe of suburban kids of the 80s and early 90s. Like, we rode around on bikes.
That's
what we did.
We had like little spots with hills and shit, and like the fucking wooded areas and shit. We were doing all kinds of crazy shit, man.
It was so much fun.
I scratching my fucking legs up and knees were all fucking scabbed up and shit, man. Those were the days though, man, for sure.
It was the best, man. It really was. And it is what it is. We're in a different.
I don't think kids even going outside. Like I see some like, you know, neighborhood and shit, but like we were going on fucking journeys, bro. We were like getting our bikes and just getting into mischief for sure.
Yep, 100%. Let's see here. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Bird Up says, I asked Jeremy this before, so this time I'll ask Ripa. Do you think Sega should return to the console market?
No.
Now you got Mark in here too, so
full blown no. Sega is doing just fine right now. They have 2 series that are absolutely killing it, and I think they're at least executing very well on half of one of them, and I'd say all of the other one, with the exception of the Young voiceover that everyone is very contentious about. But it's Yakuza, or Like a Dragon now is what they're calling it, is a very big series that's pumping out a game pretty much every year, if not every year, then every other year. Very high quality storytelling, lots of really good narrative hooks that take place in similar maps that they use between games, with a lot of the same characters, a lot of the same voice actors, and a lot of the same writers. And the other one is Persona, because Atlas is Sega as well.
Yeah, I just don't think the market is there's not an opportunity for Sega to break into it right now. I mean, you've got Microsoft, you got Sony, you got Nintendo.
I think it's stupid for pretty much anyone to be making hardware. Dedicated hardware, I think, is a dumb idea. So, I would absolutely say it would not be a good idea for them to make a console.
Well, I mean, like Microsoft and Sony are operating at a loss anyway. You know what I mean? And that's because they're part of these bigger companies. So they're part of a bigger company, so they can afford it. So, but that's why
Microsoft can.
Well, yeah.
Sony might be in a bit of trouble with how their projects have been going and how they've been spending.
That is true.
I mean, I'm assuming you've heard that Spider-Man 2, Insomniac Spider-Man 2, costs more than any Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's So yeah, so that's the whole point. Is it's you can't afford to keep up with it. You know what I mean? And you have Nintendo, who's unique and weird in their own ways, but you can't just recreate that. And so Sega, there's no market for them. Unfortunately, they just need to stay doing what they're doing. I mean, they're doing relatively okay, aren't they, for what they're doing right now?
Like I said, I mean, Sonic is their least successful of their 3 franchises that are doing very well. Yakuza, or now Like a Dragon, and Persona are both doing incredible. And Persona 3 remakes coming out in February. Persona 5 Tactica, which is like a tactics RPG spin-off, like a sequel to Persona 5. That came out this past November, and it's on Game Pass as well. All the Persona games and all the Yakuza games are on Game Pass. So they're also getting regular money every month from Microsoft. And I think Sega, I think they did pretty well in that they pared down to just making good video games for the most part. Sonic, they've had a bit of trouble figuring out, but honestly, because having a character that moves that fast is difficult to make gameplay which controls well, which children can do in 3D. It's really not easy to do. That's why they always have to make Sonic do lock targeting, whereas Super Mario is a bit more, like he moves at a manageable speed where you can time those jumps even in a 3D environment like Odyssey or Galaxy or whatever.
What is your? I haven't heard your take on this yet, but real quick, what is your game of the year for 2023?
Lies of P.
Okay, all right.
It's it honestly might be the best Souls-like. It might be better than any of From Software's games, which I did not expect to be saying because it's a new Korean studio's first game ever. But it's very, very tightly designed. The story is absolutely incredible, and it gets better the more you play it and the more you understand it. At the same time, it's much more straightforward than any of the From Software stories, so it's easier to get into in that respect. And the combat system feels pretty much like the perfect mix of Bloodborne and Sekiro. And I didn't click with it at first. Mauler and Metal Commander actually kind of cyberbullied me into even playing the game. They're just like, no, you should play it. You'll like it. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to. I played so much Elden Ring last year. I don't want to do another Souls-like game right now. They made me play it, downloaded it on Game Pass, and I've now played it 4 times.
There we go. So
it's really great. Right. But I guess what you were trying to ask me about those the Nintendo games. So I think because I think both Tears of the Kingdom and Super Mario Wonder are like possibly best in series in both cases. But really? Like they're both very good.
You think Wonder's the best Mario game potentially?
I think it might, because I prefer 2D Mario to 3D Mario, and Super Mario Wonder is the sequel to Super Mario World that I've been wanting since I was 8.
Yes.
And it's at the same time, it's not just more Super Mario World, therefore it's good and I like it because nostalgia. There's a lot of very, very creative ideas that happen in Mario Wonder, like mid-level.
Every single level, something crazy happens, and you're drawn to that.
And it's at the same time, it's very tight platform controls for the most part, very tightly designed levels. The only levels that I'm not crazy about are the ones which, I mean, granted, these exist in every Mario game, so it's not that much of a complaint. Just because of how good this game was, I got bothered anytime they controlled my pace. Like when the auto scroll levels, where it's like you can only go as fast as the level lets you go. Yeah. I hated those because I'm just like, no, just let me move around in this video game more, please. Mm-hmm. I just want to jump and run and jump some more.
I love Wonder. I don't know, like still World to me is still the best, but Wonder is phenomenal, and it's a worthy successor and it's a worthy comparison. And I totally understand if people do prefer it over World. And it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere when they announced it, and there was no build up to it really until that surprise announcement. And then here they are making one of the best games they've ever made. It's
it's very, very, very good, and it's one of the reasons why, like, when people say I'm a Nintendo hater, I'm like, I'm not. I do like Nintendo games a lot. I'm just not going to automatically say a Nintendo game's good just because it's a Nintendo. I need to play it and then be like, yeah, this one's actually really good. For example, like I didn't really like Odyssey. I didn't like Super Mario Odyssey that much. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was incredible, and I never would have called it a masterpiece. So when everyone was saying it's the best 3D platformer ever, I'm like, I don't know. I've played better, so I can't really.
I still prefer Galaxy over Odyssey, but I think Odyssey's fantastic.
Actually, I do too, and I only played Galaxy for the first time last year.
God, I love Galaxy so much. Okay, Dread. Dread, I think it's the best Metroid ever.
Yeah, I'd say easily. I think it's the best 2D Metroid, though. I think a lot of people will push back and say Super Metroid is better. My argument is the boss fights in Dread. I think the boss fights and the countering make it a lot more engaging from a gameplay standpoint. But at the same time, if someone wanted to say that like the novelty of ideas in Super Metroid is the thing that puts it over the top, I think you'd have a lot of solid arguments there too. So I'm not. Yeah. I wouldn't be like a definitively best, but I think it's the best 2D Metroid, and I think Metroid Prime is its own thing. And Metroid Prime 1 is the one I would take for.
I love Dread so much. I want to play it again. Oh man!
I mean, Metroid Prime Remastered was this year too, and my video ended up getting another 100,000 views when it came out.
Yeah, man.
I was like, oh wow, Metroid Prime 2. Come on, let's go, Nintendo.
Metroid video is phenomenal. It really is. Okay, let me run through some of these super chats really quick. We got Rare Eddie says, "Love you both, and both are a huge inspiration to starting my channel." Rare Eddie 1. Love my hobby.
Girl.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
she must have been logged in on this browser last. So
no worries. Love you both. Starting my channel, Rare Eddie. Love my hobby. It's so much fun. I sum my first 2 comics ever. Hail the 199.
Shout out. Love to hear that, man. We love to hear that, man. There's a lot of newbies coming to the scene here.
Hell yeah. Neo Nimbus says, I won't spoil anything, but I will say that Braxwell has good taste in music.
Yeah. That was not my idea, by the way. That was all Chuck's. I had nothing to do with that.
Hell yeah. The B says, shout out to DDP. Mad respect for what he did for Jake the Snake and others for the OG wrestlers. Hail 199, Ripaverse, and the Fellowship remain blessed. Yes.
Shout out DDP, yo. I took that shit. That shit's pretty intense.
Is it?
Yeah, like the higher level shit is pretty. It can get pretty fucking intense.
I remember when he was trying to help Boogie 2988. You remember that?
Yeah.
So good stuff. Horny Alf says, "Hail Jeremy, the micro snake Griggs." Thank you. Jared Holly says, "When and where do I work?" Where did you work? I worked for a T-shirt express on the beach in the 90s. Gary Johnson had that. Still promotes those matches in Chipley. So I worked for Food World, which is part of the Bruno's company. I worked at the one at Edgewater, I think is the name of the plaza. Edgewater Food World. I also worked at the one on 23rd Street and the one in Callaway. So I worked at all 3 of those Food Worlds during that time frame. Gregory says the best Super Mario Bros. Is an NES video game. So the OG.
Yeah, I mean you can make an argument for that too. I think I prefer the more complex ones for the 2D.
Well, we were talking about the best NES games earlier. That's what he was referring to. So, because I said Super Mario 3, I thought was the best NES game.
Yeah, it's the complex one on it. Like that's kind of what I mean. World and 3 they're the idea of the original Super Mario Brothers. There's a lot more complexity in the things that you can do with the power-ups.
Yep, 100%. The Wafer says, make Jeremy Cash great again. Thank you. Agmar says, Jeremy, when you have time to spare, check out Dark Side of the Ring if you haven't already. I've seen some of the Dark Side of the Ring, and it's really good. It's really good. And that's something I'd like to talk about. Let's see. Fink Circle says, we used to do backyard wrestling show. We had a ring, a stage, multiple camera angles. We even made a 10-foot cage on our own Royal Rumble where you had to get tossed in a dumpster to be knocked out. Those were the days right there, man. So the days. Loved it. Gregory says, is Jeremy Cash coming back for wrestling videos for the new Cobra 199 channel?
Maybe that's what you do. You bring them back.
You never know, man. You never know. Hayden Wayne for 50 Says, when I was a kid, I once rode my bike 6 miles across town to go to a friend's house. He lived on the opposite side of town. My only rule was to be home before the streetlights came on. Same with all of my friends at that time. Town population 300,000. He says, and then he's followed it up. He says, not 300K. It was like 15K. I bugged typing on that. Yeah. So town population 15,000. Yeah, man. That's you're never going to
So living in the 90s is like a different world now. Like
yeah,
it
the
is
streetlight rule. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just saying it was just a different world. I don't know. It was a different world.
I was saying the streetlight rule gets much more difficult as it gets towards the end of September. You're like, oh, now they're starting to come on a little earlier. Okay.
Yep. Snuffy says y'all should start y'all's own professional wrestling league and bring back the Attitude Era. Listen, all I'm saying, and I'm not like the more successful the Rippaverse is, the more successful G&G is, the more opportunities. Because me and Rippa have talked about wanting to collab on something down the road that is not like directly Geeks and Gamers, not directly Rippaverse. We've talked about wanting to do something like that one day. Who knows what the hell that could be?
True.
But sky's the limit. So we'll see.
Very true.
See.
I'm not wrestling anybody.
You already wrestled X-Ray Girl tonight, right?
Well, I mean, that's between X-Ray Girl and I.
Hey, you can make a lot of money. I'm just saying. All right.
I mean,
turn it to a wrestling angle. We could make some drama out of it. Like, come on, Mark.
Well, my leg now has a spike on it, so I might end up accidentally killing someone. It'd be not good.
Yeah.
Blacktron 5000 says Commissioner Jeremy Cash needs to be incorporated into the wrestling segments for the new channel, either in program title or in character. Mud says, can we get let's see, Go Tink's Fusion Finger Touch.
Fusion.
Ira Brown says, we getting a preach moment from Rippa sponsored Geeks and Gamers?
What happened?
We getting a preach moment from Rippa sponsored Geeks and Gamers?
Talking about when I was dropping the nuggets.
Yeah. Kellen KMK says, when will Jay be banned? Will Bob the Goat be in one of the next comics?
My goat Bob. I don't know. Maybe. I'll be down to do that, man. I missed that dude.
Oh, do you have an actual goat?
Yeah, his name was Bob.
So to be like, he's in
lived like
he might have a goat.
He lived so fucking long, man.
And the fact that you accidentally banned Jay of all people on your channel is the best thing ever. Because you knew he was going to make a video.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to recover from that.
Well, was it an accident? Or
yeah, it was an accident. He was trying to mod him. He was trying to mod him.
And they got it right, which is so fucking stupid that they have it right next to the the deal. So it's like, I tried to mod him and I ended up fucking hiding from the fucking.
I eventually told them to just take away my wrench from Nerdrotic because Rocky would walk on my phone and just ban people, and I'd be like, "I didn't ban anyone. What are you talking about?" It was like, "Well, just turn your phone off." I'm like, "Well, I'm looking at the chat."
It is so easy. It is so easy to ban people in the chat. That's why, that's why you can't hand these mod wrenches out just like crazy, because it's so easy to ban people.
But why don't they have a chat lock feature where it's like, hey, let me hit a button before I type?
Yeah.
Before I do anything. Like, let me because I want to see the chat. I just might not want to interact with the chat if I say have my phone in my pocket,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or my puppies walking around.
Grim says, I have a Panasonic 3DO model FZ1. Was expensive adjusted for inflation. Would be about $14.50. Careful to get one with a working drive or a used SD card adapter. Yeah,
I never encountered a 3DO.
Bro, I had a Panasonic 3DO when I was a kid. And
when did that shit come out? What was
94?
Yeah, it was around the same time as like the Neo Geo was a thing.
Neo Geo was around before that. It was just Neo Geo was just expensive as all.
Neo Geo was Neo Geo was
was-
so far outside of my realm of possibility.
Well,
so
because what Neo Geo was, it was an arcade cabinet, effectively, with just
Yeah.
boards that you could swap in. Like it was a cartridge console, effectively, but it was the exact same hardware that would be running Neo Geo arcade games like Samurai Showdown and Metal Slug and like all of those games. All the SNK games, which you can get on Steam easily. So like, don't worry about tracking down a Neo Geo. They're on Switch too. Like you can get all the classic Neo Geo games.
Bro,
But
how much was a Neo like?
jeez, I don't
probably
even,
about, it was about
Even the fucking 3DO, I'd imagine, is like
the 3DO is expensive as hell too.
like
yeah.
like compared
And
to
the
what it is
Jaguar,
now.
Atari
Back
Jaguar.
then, I mean, it was like fucking $700.
Mhm.
So like,
Yeah.
what the fuck adjusted for inflation? That shit like a fucking
Well,
$1,500 console, man.
I think the Neo Geo hardware, if you wanted to get it, I think was around $500, and each game was about $200.
Woo!
So
Look.
it was it was not cheap to get a Neo Geo. It was only
Wow.
like real arcade enthusiasts that wanted it, and
Mhm. Yeah,
They had
generally
that
those were
money.
adults anyway. So they were like, yeah, what the hell, I'll buy one.
it's crazy, man. Let's
Parents
see.
parents would be like, no,
Stop.
stop it, get the Nintendo.
The Real Smile Bit says, for 20, says, did you know when Nintendo was looking to release the NES to America, they were going to partner with Atari to distribute? However, when the video game Crash of 84 hit, they decided to wait it out and go on their own. I'd heard stuff about that. I wasn't sure because the most recent, the most relevant story to all that was my knowing that like Sony and Nintendo were gonna, hook up and work together.
Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure. I don't know if I was aware of the fact that they were talking to Atari or not. I'm not sure if I'd heard that before, but it
Well, if
makes
it was
sense. So,
If it was in '84, that's quite a ways before the NES actually released. So
well, the NES in 85.
what?
Yeah.
It really was at 85? I thought it was like 87.
I'm almost positive it's 85. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the NES released in 1985
Oh,
Because
okay. Well, I mean, maybe.
because I think I got one either that year.
Oddly, though, I mean, if they're partnering with Atari, why would the video game Crash stop? Like, wouldn't that stop them from releasing the console all out if they're like, okay, this isn't a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different people saying dates, so I have no idea when it released. Thing on NES US release. Let's see.
The US release is probably different than the Famicom's release. Although I guess, yeah, the NES was the American one, the Famicom.
Okay, so Nintendo seeded the first systems to limited American test market starting in New York City in October 18th, 1985, followed up Los Angeles in 86. The American nationwide release was late 86. So 86. So yeah, okay. So right in there. So 86 was September of 86 was so I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I got one in 86 for Christmas then is when I got it. So, all right, that makes sense. Man, this has been a great show. Still got more super chats to get to. Let's see. Lover of Green says, I checked LinkedIn today, and the first two stories I'm greeted with is a new variant. We're 2 years back to normal, and these mofos won't shut the fuck up about it. These journalists deserve.
I thought you were like talking about variants in comics, but you're talking about fucking talking about the
it's
the
2024. 2024, man. Again, I'll get further into this when I do a Cobra cast tomorrow, but like 2024 is gonna be fucking crazy.
Man, it's gonna be some bad shit.
Presently, I don't have to wear a mask while working at my Canadian military clinic. So I mean, at least like we're not freaking out yet. So I think everyone can relax because Canada will freak out if anyone's gonna freak out.
True.
That is true. That is very, very true. All right. Real Smile Bit says also Archon on the is it Archon on the was great on the NES. Yeah, we went on a whole spiel about NES games and
I only played them when I was, like I said, my cousin had one. That was the only time I played it.
I'd have to. I can't. Where did it go? It's I already got rid of it. Let's see. ARCHON.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've not played that game. I know Arkanoid. It's like the Brickbuster game. Like
yeah. Let's see. I got that one. Coop says, I saw Fallout preview, or I saw Fallout preview of the series and can't lie, it looks okay. Would love
Yeah, I think it
all
looks
you
fun.
programmers' opinions on it, please. I think it's going to be filled with. You talking about the series, right? Is that what we're talking about? The TV series? I think it's going to be
the Amazon show.
I think it's gonna be garbage. I think it's gonna be garbage. Now, I'm not a Fallout, like aficionado or anything, but like you can tell the diversity and all that nonsense is at the forefront of what they're doing. And I mean, it's just like anything else. Like, look at the Halo show. Like, Master Chief looks incredible. Like in terms of the showing the outfit, they got all of that right. Horrible show. Like,
the Halo show is not even worth talking about. If anything, if Fallout comes out and people start saying it's kind of like the Halo show, it's already done. But what, like, I'm a casual Fallout fan. I love New Vegas. I think 3 is pretty good, and I think 4 is okay. And 76, I guess, is fine now, but eventually you get to the point that you feel like you're going to need to start buying stuff because of the repair kits. Point is, I'm not like a big Fallout guy, but I do like Walton Goggins, like the guy who's he's and I think that if he is the lead character, or at least a prominent character, or showing up frequently enough and having an impact on the story, I feel like it'll probably end up being all right. Whereas I think the cringe stuff will likely be in the vault, and I'm gonna assume that the vault is probably gonna be the first episode and that's it, because how long are you in your vault in any Fallout game, right? Like you start there in 3 and 4, I guess. In New Vegas, you're underground, but you're not in a vault. It's everyone play New Vegas. It's good.
Vic Whiplash for 20 says, I'm 54, and as boys, we'd take off on our bikes all day. The only rule was that we had to be home when the street lights came on. Yep, that's it. That's it. Right there.
Daylight savings
Classic,
time, man.
Classic. Haunted One says, glad to see Mr. July on the chat, enjoying the stream. Well, we enjoy you. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Zanaximus for 50 says, hail Tuesday night's main event. Since Mark's in the know with the Like a Dragon series, I gotta ask him, have you heard of Kairu in English in the new season? Let's see, especially his singing. And what do you think of the performance?
I think everything I've seen of the performance so far is bad. Now I've finished The Man Who Erased His Name, which is the newest one that came out, which is very good, very much worth playing, and is on Game Pass again. I think Game Pass makes Yakuza really easy to get into because the games are really dense, but if there's no barrier for entry, it's really easy to kind of get lost in one. But I think they just patched it with so you guys know the YouTuber Young Ya?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Young Ya is now doing the voice of Kazuma Kiryu, who is the most Giga Chad Japanese man you can possibly fathom. Like, if you're imagining just the Giga Chad meme, but he's Japanese, that's Kazuma Kiryu. And it's Young Ya doing a voice that sounds like Young Ya deepening his voice a little bit.
Yeah,
it really sounds like Young. It doesn't sound like, and he's also 65-year-old Kiryu, by the way. Like, he's supposed to be like elderly, and he sounds like a 30-year-old dude. And it's weird. It's kind of a Splinter Cell Blacklist situation. You guys remember what happened with that game? Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, like I'm not forgetting the name, but Richter from Total Recall. See you at the party, Richter. Like actor's name. Anyone? Michael Ironside. That's it. Yeah. Sorry. So Michael Ironside was the voice of Sam Fisher, and in Blacklist, which was the last Splinter Cell game that ever came out, they got rid of Michael Ironside and hired the guy who played Whitney on Smallville. Like, did you ever? I thought you were a Superman guy. Did you watch Smallville?
I didn't. Well, because Smallville didn't really have Superman in it per se.
It was a show about Clark Kent.
No, I know. I just didn't. I didn't watch a lot of that one. So
okay, but anyways, it's like a CW actor, quite literally, even though it was the WB at the time, and he sounds like a guy who might be 32, but still sounds like he's 21, which was kind of the deal with actors that were on those sort of shows. Didn't really jive with being like this old grizzled super spy, and the Young Yaz Kiryu is sort of a similar deal. Like, you listen to it and it's kind of just like, he's trying, I guess, but yeah, it's He
Not-
he could
not
maybe
love
be
it.
teenage Kiryu, but like old man Kiryu, I don't see it.
Tomac says, for an RPG to play, I remember Digimon Cyber Sleuth being good, but I might suffer from nostalgia for that franchise. Tomac in the know on all of the indie titles out there. Look who's here. Bashy Washy for 10 says, hail chat, screw
Hey,
Jeremy.
Bashy.
Rippa, keep them coping and seething even though they want you to succeed and make all the money. Oh, hi, Mark.
Shout
Play Honkai Star Rail.
Honkai Star Rail. That's you know Genshin Impact.
Yes, I saw X-Ray Girl playing that the other day, actually.
Yeah, no, she loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, although I mean, to be fair, she's wired to take to gacha games. Her dad loves gacha games, like the kind of gameplay loop thing where you can just kind of keep playing it and unlock stuff.
I could tell you've had her, like, you've been making some recommendations to her too, seeing all the games she's streaming and stuff.
Well, I mean, Genshin Impact, I had nothing to do with. I think
I know
that was
I know
Carolyn.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah, Eric had more to do with that than I did. But you know, I mean, like Dead Space remake is one I've been telling her to play for a while, but she said it was too scary, and she decided she wanted to do a scary game for Christmas, and she left that up to Twitter though. They voted Dead Space. So
Nick Skyberg says chat lock needs to be a thing. I let streams go in my pocket while I'm at work, and I'm constantly paranoid I'm accidentally pocket reporting or blocking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
chat
absolutely.
lock. Yeah, come on, YouTube.
The oncurring Santa sled says, remember the Jaguar console. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We all remember
that came out at around the same time as the 3DO. It was those two that were the premium consoles. The one that was a 32-bit CD console, and the other was 64 bits, but it's cartridges. And then both of those failed, and PlayStation and N64 did the exact same battle like 2 years later.
Let's see. Calorgors says, stress, cortisol keeps the weight on. I reevaluated my goals and cut a lot of that stuff that wasn't adding value. Stress and weight went down. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Jeff Atkins says, going to need Mark's 5 best games by the decade. No one will go to sleep as he EFAPs till 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, probably.
That'll be next week because we're all gonna break that down. So you know, Mark, he'll be ready for it.
What's the of the like? Is it of this decade or of each decade?
It's of each. So let me reread it was a big super chat we got. So all right. So I told him we're gonna hold off till next week on this. Hey, wish you all a happy. This is from Sean Sora. Says so big question. What are your top 5 games for each decade? Each 5 decades, 1990 to 1999. 5 for 2000 to 2010, 5 for 2011 to 2019, and 5 for 2020 to 2023. That's gonna be next week. We're gonna
I mean that. Yeah, I got to think about that. Actually, I'm happy I got the question now. Otherwise, I'd be like, guys, my brain's gonna explode.
I heard
come up with this list on the spot.
Jeff asks, says, as a former first responder, I need Mark's opinion on lady products for freedom holes.
I mean. Like tampons have a lot of uses, even for severe epistaxis.
Fantastic Not says, Jeremy, if you like Sea of Stars, then you might like Chained Echoes. By the way,
Chained Echoes is amazing. But honestly, it's one of the best JRPGs I've ever played, and it was made by one German man.
Really? Damn. It's impressive. By the way, the whitest of black grifters, Sean King, is crying because he got banned from Instagram. I saw that. It's funny as hell. Nick Skyberg says, in rural areas, kids are still getting out. Maybe not like we used to, but still very active. Happy to hear that. BFS D150 says, G&G, I was just watching old SmackDown videos of JBL talking a lot of nonsense in the ring and Batista coming out and whooping his ass. Good old days. Man, I watch a lot of old school wrestling on YouTube. A lot. Real smile, huh?
You'll sing down a rabbit hole for sure.
It's never ending, man.
Yeah.
The Real Smile Bit says NES released in America in 1985, but in Japan it released in 1983 as a Famicom, of course.
Yeah,
that's right. Josh says the line on if an Amazon show is good or not, if Amazon is producing the show or is just distributing or placing it on streaming, their on streaming service. Yeah, that's there's a lot of variables that go into it for sure. Horny Elf says, I have a Panasonic 3O. I have a decent sized console collection I use for my channel. Love the Panasonic 3O. SBZ says, listening to the stream made me wish I was born in the 90s. I could see Jeremy Cash versus the Shockmaster live. Hell
Jeremy
yes.
Cash.
Enoch Amon says, that's right, Mark. Keep giving the longest answers with as many tangents as possible. Let the autism flow through.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. You gotta understand. I will do that.
He will do that. I have to reel him in every now and then. We'll see how it goes. But we're almost done. I got to go back. So again, I don't have my normal crew here with me. Let's see. Okay. Sean Sora also says, bonus question. If you guys have you guys heard of a game called Gravity Circuit? It's it's on all console. Look into the trailer. I think you guys will like this. Inspired by Mega Man X, and it has a great soundtrack. Hail the 199. So Gravity Circuit. So we need to look into that. General Duality says, hail the 199. Loved Alpha Core. Chuck Dixon is the GOAT.
Yeah, that's great.
Can't wait for Yaira.
Yes,
the ending got me. I won't spoil it, but it was a great ending in that book.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a job he did on that book, man.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Let's see. We got Big Spender or Faux Peasy says Big Spender's on here tonight. Not gonna lie, this is all I got. Hey man, it's all good, brother. Whatever you never. Nobody owes a dime to watch these shows. This is a free show for everybody. If you choose to send us a super chat, obviously it's greatly appreciated. But and we have a very, very amazing audience here that supports this show and supports what we do. So really do appreciate it. The oncurring Santa Sled says, on your Cobra 199 channel, will you make wrestling characters of yourselves? I mean, maybe. I'm open to, different stuff like that for sure. Again, so if you want to go check out the Cobra 199 channel, you can. It's not monetized right now, even though it got approved and it got disapproved, but we'll get that all worked out. Kellen says, going to bed. God bless you all. Good night. Thank you. And no, I'm not playing Fortnite tonight. I'm tired. I'm not playing
correct.
So, well, Mark's going to play Fortnite. I'm not.
No, incorrect.
And what about Lego Fortnite, Mark? Come on. So
I'm never going to install the Epic Store on my computer. Let's see, until they stop doing exclusives.
I love Fortnite. I'm obsessed with Fortnite.
Well, I mean, Fortnite, they can keep exclusive, but you know what they can't do? Install Fortnite on my machine without asking me when I got the early access version of Hades like 3 years ago. I was like, why isn't Hades downloading? Oh, because you're installing Fortnite on my machine. Get this Chinese spyware off my computer.
Let's see. Hailstorm says sleep us for the week. Yeah, I don't know. If the stupid channel wasn't demonetized, maybe I'd do it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm just not. I've had a long couple of days. I was very stressed out with the channel getting hit like it was. And again, I know it's going to get worked out. But it's just aggravating because I'm trying to build that channel up to be something different than, because I've got a lot of ideas that I want to kind of get in play for 2024. And that whole thing is just driving me crazy right now. But the finals, we will be playing that over there on that channel. And we'll see what else is out there. I can tell you one thing.
Quake 2 multiplayer.
I'm not going to play Apex Garbage Legends. I'll tell you that. I'm not
Quake 2. Play Quake 2.
I'm open for Quake 2. I'm just
Quake 2 has Quake 2 remaster came out this year. Multiplayer, crossplay, campaign, co-op if you want. It's good stuff.
Mark, give me Titanfall 3. Make it happen. You have the power and the knowledge.
Yeah, I have the power to make EA do things.
Oh man, I hate Hailstorm for making me believe that was even possible. Like Hailstorm actually made me think it was possible that we're getting a Titanfall 3. So,
I mean, okay, I'm about to jump on the goddamn it Star Wars. Will you please stop bandwagon? If the rumors of id, friggin' Doom Eternal, like Doom behind me right now, Doom poster here.
Yep.
Id apparently making a Mandalorian game. Kill me.
Oh man!
Like I was like, you guys made Doom Eternal and then capped it off with the DLC. The Doom story is kind of done for now. You want to do something else? I get it. I'm just like Lovecraft Quake. Do a Quake 1, 2, a sequel to the first Quake, please. And they're like, oh, The Mandalorian. I'm like, please don't be true. That is a rumor that I really want to not be true.
That would be awful. That would be awful. Well, hey, look.
Machine Games is doing Indiana Jones though, so the Wolfenstein people are working on a Lucasfilm game, so it's not that crazy that they could be, and it makes me sad.
That is that's not good. So let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, we're gonna call it here. Punch McLightning says, thanks guys for doing the show. Much respect. Hail to 199. Hail Jeremy Cash. Thank you. So yes, this has been an absolutely fun show. I want to give Rip a shout out for hopping on, having a discussion, man. It's awesome. Good to have Mark here as well. We'll be back next week with everybody, and Mark will be joining us, and I think we're gonna have a really good discussion next week. But Rippa, what you got going on?
I'm just bustling. We are getting orders out. I mean, basically, we're kind of like a day. I mean, that's all it'll take. So if you want to order your books now, they're pretty much going out immediately with everything. We do have some stuff that we need to, with some CGCs we're waiting on that the last stragglers will get those. But other than that, we're rocking and rolling. So we appreciate the support, but that's all I'm focused on. Rippaverse. Obviously, tomorrow we got Ribbon the Silverback. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about some comic shit there tomorrow, but other than that, man, just grinding, and I appreciate everybody's support.
Heck yeah, looking forward to it. And yes, everybody, I'm setting the fucking stream up, so I'm going live on Cobra 199 to play. Hailstorm's a piece of shit.
Jay Hailstorm, man.
It's Hailstorm. He's in the chat. He's giving me shit, but at the end of the day, I do hope that maybe if they look at my appeal that I've sent in, they'll see that I'm not doing the reused content. It's literally 5 live streams. How can it be reused content? Yeah. It's driving me crazy. Mark, what do you got going on, man?
Well, X-Ray Girl and I have been on a Red Dead Redemption 2 kick over on her channel, where we play just in the basement here, like on the same couch, and pass the controller back and forth. Although as of yet, I've not played, which I'm kind of okay with, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a pretty good game to just watch. It's kind of like watching a really good HBO Western series or something. And and then on my own channel, I'm streaming some games. Lately, I've been playing Ready or Not. I was failing on the same mission over and over again for 6 hours today, but I had to beat it because I was taking down a server farm for a website that distributes children's content, if you know what I mean.
You just go in there like a blazer.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't want to make a lot of arrests. I was okay. I was like, drop it. The second he lifts the gun, I'm like, pop. Okay, next one. But it's such a difficult game that the only way I was actually able to beat this level was to clear the outside, like clear the entire exterior, block every single exit, including my own escapes, enter through one door, block that door, and then just turn it into a kill maze. And I went from the outside in, circling, and finally got it. But it's a tough game, but it's engaging. You really want to win because you're like, oh man, I just didn't check that corner right. Okay, let's go again.
Respect that. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to find I've been using the same thumbnail on this stupid channel, so I'm trying to find a different thumbnail. I don't know if that's one thing that's triggering the stupid AI bot that hit me. I have no idea. It's so stupid. Like, the fact that I'm having to worry about this is annoying as hell. The fact that I have 10 YouTube channels and I'm still dealing with this dumb shit, getting hit for reused content when it's clear that that thumbnail should work right there. So, and then the mods will drop the link. I'm trying to set up the stream now. Screw it. I'll just set it up now. You guys can go over there. Get in the chat. Go have your conversations over there. I will be live on Kick and on Rumble as well, on my D-Day Cobra Kick and Rumble. So, and Hailstorm's bitch ass will be joining me because he's a psycho. But it has good to have Mark here. Always love hearing Mark's takes on things. Dude's knowledge is second to none. And it's going to be good to have him back with us next week. So good to see you, Mark. Appreciate you, brother. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks again to Rippa, and I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I'll see you over on my Cobra 199 channel here in just a bit, and Hailstorm will be with me. Who knows who else will show up? But thanks, guys. and we will talk to all of you later. Shout out to Drunk 3PO for no particular reason other than he's Drunk 3PO, right?
Hi, Jay.
Bye everybody.